I have now told you everything. What do you think? Will you form an alliance with me? Or do you plan to face Li Mingwu and the dragon Taoist alone? After the Yin family ancestor finished speaking, he looked at Bai Yi, waiting for Bai Yi's response. After hearing this, Bai Yi, facing the Yin family ancestor, smiled and said, "There's no need to even say it. I naturally choose to form an alliance with you, Yin Dao friend. The situation is very clear now. If the two of us don't form an alliance, we are definitely not their match. Only by uniting can we contend with them." As soon as Bai Yi's words fell, the Yin family ancestor corrected. "Not two, but three of us." Three. Bai Yi was quite puzzled, looking at the Yin family ancestor, and for a moment he couldn't react. However, the Yin family ancestor then looked towards Lin Jing, standing nearby. Following the Yin family ancestor's gaze, Bai Yi saw Lin Jing just taking out a fiery red token from his space ring. The 5 elements fire command. The moment he saw the token, Bai Yi was immediately dumbfounded. He hadn't expected that the missing 5 elements fire command was actually in Lin Jing's hands. After a moment, Bai Yi came to his senses, looked back at the Yin family ancestor with a face full of admiration. "I can't believe that the long-lost 5 elements fire command has been with you all this time, Yin Dao friend. Indeed, the older, the wiser, you truly are deserving of praise." Apparently, Bai Yi thought that the 5 elements fire command had been obtained by the Yin family ancestor, and he didn't suspect Lin Jing. After all, in his view, Lin Jing was only at the nascent soul stage, and he hadn't been in the southern outer sea for long. It was impossible for him to have planned so early or to have obtained the 5 elements fire command. He only thought that the 5 elements fire command must have been obtained by the Yin family ancestor long before, and that Lin Jing was also a subordinate of the Yin family ancestor. In Bai Yi's eyes, all this was planned by the Yin family ancestor. Subsequently, the Yin family ancestor spoke. It was just good luck obtained by chance. The Yin family ancestor didn't explain further, and Bai Yi didn't care, but instead said, "Yin Dao friend, you plan to let Lin Jing enter the 5 elements ruins with us. Just..." Bai Yi paused here, looking at Lin Jing, then somewhat hesitantly said, "It's just his cultivation." Then, he turned to the Yin family ancestor, saying, "I presume you're aware, Yin Dao friend, that this time we're facing Li Mingwu and the Dragon Taoist. Though our cultivation levels can contend with them, Lin Jing's cultivation is clearly insufficient. If we really encounter a special situation, I'm afraid, even if we want to protect him, it might be too late." Hearing this, the Yin family ancestor instead laughed. "Bai Dao friend, there's no need to worry." After saying this, the Yin family ancestor directly addressed Lin Jing. "Since we've already formed an alliance, there's no need to keep secrets from Bai Dao friend any longer." Lin Jing nodded and then released his cultivation, allowing his aura to climb until it stopped at the early divinity transformation stage. "Bai Dao friend, I had already reached the divinity transformation stage decades ago, but due to certain reasons, it was kept secret. I hope you don't take offense, Bai Dao friend. As for facing Li Mingwu, although I may not be a match for him, it's certainly not easy for him to defeat me. You don't need to worry about this matter, Bai Dao friend." This had been agreed upon with the Yin family ancestor before on the small island, and in facing Bai Yi, it was natural to reveal his cultivation to put him at ease. Lin Jing's sudden release of cultivation aura truly shocked Bai Yi, but seeing the Yin family ancestor standing beside Lin Jing, he immediately understood. After all, the Yin family ancestor was also an old monster who had lived for over 1,000 years, and although he usually didn't show off, no one dared to underestimate him. This was certainly a plan prepared in advance by him. Then, the Yin family ancestor also looked towards Bai Yi, saying, "Bai Dao friend, do you have any further objections?" Bai Yi, with a smile, said, "It seems that Yin Dao friend was well prepared in advance. Since this is your arrangement, I naturally have no objections." After finishing, Bai Yi again addressed the Yin family ancestor. "Yin Dao friend, since we're allied, shouldn't we first exchange some information? I want to know how much Yin Dao friend knows about the 5 elements ruins." "No problem. Naturally, that is necessary. The Yin family ancestor replied, "Very well then. Please follow me, Tao friends." Saying this, Bai Yi gestured with his hand, guiding the Yin family ancestor and Lin Jing toward the inner hall of Yutian Hall. In the inner hall of Yutian Hall was where Bai Yi usually lived and cultivated, and that place was also more suitable for discussion. And the Yin family ancestor didn't mind, directly following Bai Yi toward the inner hall of Yutian Hall. Lin Jing also followed closely, heading to the inner hall. The next day, news spread from Yutian Island that Bai Yi invited the island master of True Dragon Island, the Dragon Taoist, to the island to discuss an important matter. But after the news was released, there was no response, and it seemed the Dragon Taoist wasn't even on True Dragon Island. Having waited a whole day and seen that the Dragon Taoist didn't respond, Bai Yi released a second message. It stated that everything the Dragon Taoist wanted was in his own hands, and if he didn't come, then he would just have to deal with it himself. Soon after the message was released, the Dragon Taoist indeed came, and with him was a mysterious old man with a concealed identity, the two of them arriving at Yutian Island together. The matter of the 5 elements ruins was originally not to be disclosed. As for Li Mingwu, he was even less likely to reveal his true form. Therefore, they could only use this method to bring Li Mingwu and the Dragon Taoist together. Li Mingwu had also concealed himself. After Dragon Taoist led that mysterious elder into Yutian Hall, they stayed for most of the day before departing with the mysterious elder. As for what was discussed in Yutian Hall, other than those who were present at the time, I'm afraid no one else knew. Time quickly passed, and half a month flew by. Half a month ago, after Lin Jing left Yutian Island, he immediately went to Beihai City and brought several people back with him. Now that all the discussions were completed and Lin Jing's crisis was temporarily resolved, it was time to bring them back. After returning, Lin Jing did not continue his cultivation. Instead, he made some elixir medicine and then made some preparations. In this way, until recently, he had finished all his preparations. Originally, when Dragon Taoist took Li Mingwu to Yutian Island, those who were there had discussed entering the 5 elements ruins together for most of the day, eventually coming to a conclusion. That was half a month later, they would go to the 5 elements cave mansion together and enter the 5 elements ruins from there. Before this, any grievances would be temporarily set aside. After all, the strength of both parties was similar, and if a fight really broke out, it would inevitably lead to a lose-lose situation. Now their only option was to cooperate with each other to maximize the benefits for both. However, before this, they each had to prepare. Therefore, they set the half-month period, which was today. Today, Lin Jing had already finished his preparations. Now, he only needed to inform a few people on Flame Island, and they would immediately start their journey to the 5 elements ruins. Coming out of system space, Lin Jing appeared directly in the alchemy room of his small courtyard. Following, Lin Jing shut down the alchemy room's formation, then walked straight out of the alchemy room, and after leaving the alchemy room, Lin Jing directly extended his divine sense. This powerful divine sense unfolded, immediately enveloping the entire Flame Island. At the same time, Lin Jing also found out the current situation of several people. Li Qingqing's alchemy room in the small courtyard had its formation activated. It seemed like she was likely engaging in alchemy. And Lin Ju was currently in the city lord's mansion of Li Yin City, discussing city affairs with Yu Qingyang. Yin was not in his own small courtyard. However, it was normal for him not to be in the courtyard, because Yin spent most of his time cultivating, and it was likely no different now. Thus, Lin Jing directly invoked his divine sense, probing towards the cave near the earth flame spring on the island, and at the edge of the spring in the depths of the cave, Lin Jing found Yi Yun's neatly stacked clothes. Lin Jing guessed correctly. Yi Yun had again entered the earth flame spring for body refinement. This earth flame spring, Lin Jing had not been down for a long time. At Lin Jing's level, the earth flame spring's enhancement was minimal, virtually useless. Whether he went down or not was naturally inconsequential. After checking on everyone, Lin Jing did not find Li Tanyu nor Bai Ji. The two were not on the island, and their whereabouts were unknown. Following, Lin Jing left the mountaintop and appeared directly at Li Yin's city lord's mansion. As soon as Lin Jing arrived, he caught the attention of Lin Ju and Yu Qinyang. When the two saw that the newcomer was Lin Jing, they immediately relaxed. "Allen Master, brother." The two greeted Lin Jing one after the other. "Brother, are you finished with your busy work?" Lin Jing nodded, then stepped forward and spoke to Yu Qinyang. "Qinyang, ever since we obliterated Dai Mao and obtained Flame Island, you have been continuously busy helping to establish Li Yin City and Feng Market. You even managed the early stages of cultivating and managing the spirit fields. For this, you have even sacrificed quite a lot of your cultivation time. These days have indeed been hard on you." Upon hearing this, Yu Qinyang hurriedly clasped her hands. "Allen Master, you give me too much credit. You helped me and all the native cultivators on our island escape from Dai Mao's grasp, and you even actively developed Flame Island. You have improved our living standards considerably and also rewarded us with numerous cultivation resources, advancing our cultivation dramatically and thus completely freeing us from oppression. If anything, we should be the ones thanking you. The situation on Flame Island is actually quite rare. Other islands almost covet collecting all cultivation resources for themselves. Only Lin Jing is different. He himself is not lacking cultivation resources, and he has little regard for those lower-tier resources. Moreover, Lin Jing regularly concocts large batches of elixir medicine to level up his alchemy technique and to collect harvest points. Some of these elixir medicines are sold in the Flame Elixir Pavilion, and some are handed to Yu Qinyang to distribute according to each person's contribution to Flame Island. Even the cultivation true elixir provided by Lin Jing is included. With the cultivation true elixir, advancing to the golden core stage became possible. With the hope of advancing, the cultivators on Flame Island became even more diligent. Latterly, under the arrangements made by Lin Jing, spirit fields were opened and many spirit plants were planted. Flame Island itself cultivated some alchemists who then used the spirit plants from the fields to make more elixir medicines. Once Flame Island was on the right track, the entire island became abundant in resources. Thus, compared to the time when Dai Mao was in charge, Flame Island is now much better. The cultivators on Flame Island have also made the other surrounding islands quite envious. Lin Jing raised his hand to interrupt Yu Qinyang. "No matter what, Flame Island wouldn't be the same without you. You truly played an indispensable role." With that, Lin Jing took out a jade vial from the space ring and handed it over to Yu Qinyang. "This elixir medicine is for you. Find a place later and take it directly." Seeing that Lin Jing brought elixir medicine, Yu Qinyang did not decline and reached out to take it. In her mind, she assumed it to be some sort of cultivation-improving elixir medicine. However, out of curiosity, Yu Qinyang still asked, "Allen Master, what kind of elixir medicine is this?" Lin Jing then spoke, his tone quite casual. "It's a cleansing spirit elixir. It has a certain chance of enhancing your spirit root aptitude." The words of Lin Jing left Yu Qinyang momentarily stunned, rooted to the spot. A cleansing spirit elixir. Yu Qinyang was somewhat bewildered, not expecting Lin Jing to actually give her such an elixir. While Yu Qinyang was still in a daze, Lin Jing continued to speak. "Oh, and this elixir medicine is precious. Don't let word of it get out." It wasn't until Lin Jing finished speaking that Yu Qinyang came to her senses, looking at the jade vial in her hands. Her hands clutching the vial were trembling uncontrollably. Before meeting Lin Jing, Yu Qinyang had suffered a lot and endured much hardship. All of that was because of her own aptitude. Even her desire to seek revenge for her family was hampered by her own aptitude, which led to her slow progress in cultivation, turning it into a pipe dream. This situation changed only after she met Lin Jing. After meeting Lin Jing, Yu Qinyang had broken through from the late stage of foundation establishment to the mid-stage of golden core. The improvement in cultivation brought changes to her life and made her family's revenge no longer just a distant dream. Therefore, she was always very grateful to Lin Jing. But now, Lin Jing had brought out an elixir medicine that could change her aptitude. This was an elixir medicine she had longed for a very long time. If she had encountered such an elixir medicine before meeting Lin Jing, she would have done anything to obtain it, even resorting to the most despicable means if necessary. For no other reason than her spirit root aptitude had tormented her for far too long. But now, Yu Qingyang looked at the elixir medicine, hesitating for a moment, her eyes also showing a hint of reluctance, knowing what taking this pill would mean for her. After hesitating, however, she handed the jade vial back to Lin Jing. "Island Master, this elixir medicine is too precious. I dare not accept it. It seems wasteful just to give it to me. It should be given to Lin Ju and Yi Yun to take." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing looked at Yu Qingyang. "You needn't think so little of yourself. This spirit pill is specifically reserved for you. As for Lin Ju and Yi Yun, they have already taken it." No sooner had Lin Jing's voice faded than Lin Ju directly reached out to press Yu Qingyang's hand back. "Sister Yu, just accept it. We've already taken ours." Yu Qingyang looked at Lin Jing and Lin Ju, hesitated for a while, and then nodded her head. Lin Jing then spoke directly. "All right, find a quiet place now and refine and absorb this elixir medicine. I have some matters to discuss with Lin Ju." After hearing this, Yu Qingyang nodded. "Very well, Island Master. Then I will take my leave now." Having said that, Yu Qingyang gave Lin Jing a bowed salute and then withdrew. After Yu Qingyang left, Lin Jing took out several small jade vials and handed them to Lin Ju. Inside these, there are 2 supreme-grade cleansing spirit elixirs, along with several superior and medium-grade cleansing spirit elixirs. Give one of the supreme-grade cleansing spirit elixirs to Li Tanyu and one to Zhang Jian. I will be leaving soon, and after I leave, you can just hand the cleansing spirit elixirs to them. As for the other grades of cleansing spirit elixirs, you can distribute them as you see fit. If you want to sell them, that's also an option. Just be careful." Lin Jing had told Lin Ju and the others about his plan to venture into the ruins. However, due to the importance of the matter, Lin Jing did not tell them much, only that he would explore the ruins with others and would be away for some time. As Lin Jing finished speaking, Lin Ju quickly looked at him, his eyes full of worries. "Ah, brother, are you leaving now?" "Yes," Lin Jing nodded. "Won't you say goodbye to Qing Qing and the others?" Lin Ju then asked. Lin Jing shook his head. "No, I have already told them before. I will not disturb them this time. This departure, I don't know how long it will take. During the time I am away, Li Yin Island will be in your care." Although Lin Ju was reluctant, he knew Lin Jing had to go, so he did not say anything more, but his eyes were still filled with worry. Lin Jing then reassured Lin Ju with a smile, ensuring he would be careful and telling her not to worry. After calming Lin Ju, Lin Jing and Lin Ju walked out of the city lord's mansion together. Lin Jing was about to leave after bidding farewell to Lin Ju. Just at that moment, a figure appeared in the skyline, quickly approaching Li Yin Island. This figure had not yet reached Li Yin Island, but Lin Jing had already noticed it. Lin Jing looked up toward the horizon. Even though it was very far away, Lin Jing was very familiar with that figure. It was the Yin family elder. In but a moment, the Yin family elder arrived at Li Yin Island. "Senior." Upon seeing the Yin family elder's arrival, Lin Jing hurriedly greeted him respectfully. At the same time, Lin Ju also bowed with Lin Jing. "We have seen the senior." The Yin family elder first nodded at Lin Ju, then addressed Lin Jing. "Since we are both cultivators of the same rank, you really need not call me senior." Lin Jing respectfully said, "Not only have you greatly favored me, Junior, but you're also a senior of Brother Yin, so you deserve this title. In the entire cultivation world, cultivators of the same rank generally address each other as Dao friends. However, there are some exceptions, such as those older, highly esteemed cultivators. Even if later generations advance to the same rank, many would still prefer to address them as seniors. Especially those seniors who have helped them personally, calling them senior is a way to show respect. This is no longer about cultivation. The Yin family elder had indeed treated Lin Jing well, even blocking Li Mingwu and Dragon Taoist from causing him trouble half a month ago. Therefore, Lin Jing held great respect for the Yin family elder. The Yin family elder, hearing this, just smiled and said nothing more. Afterward, the Yin family elder spoke to Lin Jing. "Shall we leave now?" Lin Jing nodded. Then Lin Jing and Lin Ju waved goodbye, and he went with the Yin family elder toward Yutian Island. When the two arrived at Yutian Island, the other three were already there. However, the aura around Bai Yi and Li Mingwu seemed off, as if they had just been through a fight. The Yin family elder noticed the tense atmosphere and frowned as he spoke to them. "Didn't we agree half a month ago? Whatever grievances there are, they need to be set aside before entering the Five Elements ruins. What's going on with you two?" Li Mingwu's gaze was chilly as he looked at Bai Yi and then spoke. "We had agreed that we would each prepare for entering the Five Elements ruins. Yet Bai Yi took the opportunity to find Ling Yi and killed him. What? Do you really disregard our prior agreement?" Bai Yi replied with a cold face. "Since Ling Yi dared to betray me, naturally I couldn't let him live. This matter has nothing to do with our previous agreement." Seemingly emboldened by the presence of the Yin family elder, Bai Yi looked at Li Mingwu. "If you're not satisfied, we can fight it out first, determine the winner, and then enter the Five Elements ruins." Hearing this, Li Mingwu's gaze became even chillier as he stared at Bai Yi, his aura rising. Ling Yi, although just a subordinate, had shown great respect and had done much for him. Although Li Mingwu was also a cold-hearted person, such a loyal subordinate was rare, and he valued him highly, intending to nurture him. Now that Ling Yi had been slain by Bai Yi, Li Mingwu was naturally enraged, especially since Bai Yi, after allying with the Yin family elder, seemed to disregard him. This made Li Mingwu even more inclined to eliminate Bai Yi. At this point, the Yin family elder spoke up, attempting to mediate. "Enough. The two of you calm down for now, and let's discuss this after we exit the ruins." Having said this, the Yin family elder continued. "This venture into the Five Elements ruins is of great importance, and I assume you wouldn't want any mishaps before we enter. Additionally, the situation inside the ruins is complex, and there might be dangers within. If you really fight here and get injured, entering the ruins afterward could be fatal. After all, none of us have been inside the Five Elements ruins before, and we are all unclear about the specific conditions inside." As the Yin family elder's words fell, seeing that both men had fallen silent, it was evident from their eyes that they still harbored anger. Seeing them like this, the Yin family elder spoke again. "We are all here to advance further, to ascend to the solidifying body realm. This opportunity might be the only one we encounter in our lifetime. That's all I have to say. I've said everything that needs to be said. If you really insist on fighting now, then please go ahead." After the Yin family elder finished speaking, the true Dragon Island's master, Dragon Taoist, also stepped forward to persuade. "Friend Yin is right. This opportunity is rare. Whatever grievances you have can be resolved after returning from the ruins." Meanwhile, Lin Jing stood by and said nothing. Following their advice, Li Mingwu temporarily set aside the matter and coldly said to Bai, "This matter, let's set it aside for now. After this exploration of the ruins is over, I will seek justice for Ling." Bai also huffed coldly and said, "Then I'll be waiting for you." Ling Yi, this gentleman, had done much for Li Mingwu, originally tricking numerous people into the devouring spirit blood realm at the trade conference. Even Lin Jing was unintentionally involved in this scheme. Moreover, he had been undercover beside Bai Yi for many years, using the identity of Shui Yilin, ostensibly helping Bai Yi while actually secretly assisting Li Mingwu. Naturally, Bai Yi was extremely annoyed and wanted to eliminate him swiftly. Now, with Ling Yi ultimately dying at the hands of Bai Yi, it could be said he brought it upon himself. Lin Jing felt no regret either. Having temporarily calmed the two men, the group then set off together towards the Five Elements cave mansion. Before long, they arrived at the edge of Yutian Island, at the teleportation array leading to the Five Elements cave mansion. Since the last time they used it, this teleportation array had been sealed by E. Upon arrival, E once again took action, unsealing the formation of the teleportation array. After that, the group entered the teleportation array one by one and passed through it to enter the Five Elements cave mansion. The others entered first, while Lin Jing was the last one to step into the teleportation array. After Lin Jing stepped into the teleportation array, a flash of light followed. Then, a tearing force was felt, and Lin Jing also disappeared in the light. Transporting into the Five Elements cave mansion was the same as last time, still within the spirit field, and the mist remained thick. Seeing Lin Jing had transported over, a few looked at Lin Jing and then turned around, heading into the white mist. When they looked at Lin Jing just now, Li Mingwu's gaze was particularly hostile. Not only Li Mingwu, but even the Dragon Taoist had unfriendly eyes when looking at Lin Jing. Half a month ago, Bai Yi delivered information that led Li Mingwu and the Dragon Taoist to Yutian Island to discuss matters of the Five Elements ruins. It was that discussion that enlightened them on many things. They also realized that all of this was because of Lin Jing's meddling, and Li Mingwu understood the reason for his failure. At that time, Li Mingwu had made a meticulous plan, which could be said to be flawless, but it was due to Lin Jing that he was completely exposed, forcing him to flee in disarray. Originally, after killing the Demon Lord Mo, both Li Mingwu and the Master of True Dragon Island indeed suspected Lin Jing. Originally, they indeed planned to find troubles with Lin Jing after healing. But before they could act, they first received the news dispatched by Bai Yi, although Lin Jing indeed admitted everything. However, all of this was arranged by the Yin family elder, and with Lin Jing under the protection of the Yin family elder, they could no longer touch Lin Jing. Passing through the white mist, the group once again arrived at the entrance of the Five Elements cave mansion. The formation here had already been opened by the group last time, so this time they directly entered. The group stood at the entrance and looked inside. The Five Elements cave mansion remained much the same as last time. Let's go. After observing for a while, the Yin family elder spoke and said to the group. The group nodded and said, "Let's go." Afterward, several people followed the path they had broken through last time, heading towards the Five Elements cave mansion. Since they were taking the old route they had traveled before without any formations blocking their way, their speed was much faster. In less than an hour, they had arrived at the square in the middle of the Five Elements cave mansion. At that moment, Li Mingwu first glanced at the side, where the wood hall formation had been opened, his brows slightly furrowed. He had been unable to enter this wood hall last time, which had left him quite regretful. After looking over, Li Mingwu once again coldly glanced at Lin Jing. It seemed that Li Mingwu harbored a deep grudge concerning the events of the last time. However, this action of his was naturally noticed by the elder of the Yin family nearby. The elder of the Yin family looked at Li Mingwu and spoke out to remind him, "Li fellow cultivator, right now we should focus on the Five Elements ruins. Let the past be the past." Li Mingwu heard this and looked towards the elder of the Yin family. At that moment, although the elder of the Yin family was smiling, his eyes were full of warning. Clearly, he was warning Li Mingwu not to think about acting against Lin Jing. Li Mingwu was silent for a moment, then nodded. Then he turned to look towards the back of the square at the majestic main hall. At that moment, in front of the Five Elements main hall, there was a huge formation. This formation differed from the previous ones. It was laid out with a pentagram in the center, extending to the edges of the formation. At each point of the pentagram, there was a raised stone platform, whose shape resembled that of the Five Elements command token. Clearly, this was the place meant for placing the Five Elements command tokens. The method of opening this Five Elements main hall required 5 cultivators, each holding a command token, to open it. Upon seeing this formation, they immediately understood what was going on. And at that moment, Li Mingwu spoke. "Each of us should stand at the position that corresponds to our respective elements, and then place the token on the raised stone platform and channel spiritual power into the token. Shall we start now?" "All right, let's begin then." The elder of the Yin family also echoed. Following that, several people stepped forward, coming up to the formation. Once they reached the formation, everyone scattered, walking towards their respective positions. The raised stone platforms were each a different color, corresponding exactly to the 5 elements. In Lin Jing's hands was the 5 elements fire command. Thus, he directly went and stood next to the red stone platform. At that time, the others had also reached their respective positions. Then, Li Mingwu made the first move. He took out the token and placed it on top of the stone platform, fitting perfectly into the stone. At the same time, the others did the same, placing their tokens on the stone platforms in front of them. Once the tokens were placed, the entire formation immediately underwent a change. Lights of various colors spread from the platforms, continuously spreading throughout the formation. However, the spreading speed of the light was not fast. At this moment, Li Mingwu spoke to the others. Everyone, it's starting. We input spiritual power. Remember to maintain balance. Otherwise, if the spiritual power becomes imbalanced, the formation will seal itself. If it gets sealed, then we're really in trouble. Sure enough, Li Mingwu knew even this. His understanding of the 5 elements cave mansion was probably unmatched by anyone else. As Li Mingwu's words faded, the others began to circulate their cultivation techniques, gathering spiritual power, converging it above the token in front of them. As they inputted their spiritual power, the spreading of those colorful lights suddenly accelerated significantly. Before long, that spiritual power covered the entire formation. When the light covered the entire formation, the colorful light instantly transformed into a beam of light shooting straight into the sky. At that moment, the tokens that had originally fit into the stone platforms popped out, caught quickly by everyone. Then, Li Mingwu swept a glance over the others and spoke. All right, the teleportation array leading to the 5 elements main hall is now usable. So who's going in first? Li Mingwu finished speaking, swept his gaze around the room, and finally rested on Lin Jing. After that, Li Mingwu turned his head to the Yin family's senior ancestor and said, Yin Daoyu, didn't you say before that the 5 elements main hall poses no danger, and that Lin Daoyu has even gone inside once? How about letting Lin Daoyu go in first this time? Upon hearing this, the Yin family's senior ancestor frowned slightly and then looked at Lin Jing. Lin Jing nodded to the Yin family's senior ancestor and then opened his mouth to say, The 5 elements main hall indeed poses no danger. Since Li Daoyu is worried, then let me go in first. Seeing this, the Yin family's senior ancestor also nodded slightly to Lin Jing. All right, then you go ahead. But be extremely careful, the Yin family's senior ancestor added after finishing his sentence as a reminder. Lin Jing nodded and then walked towards the formation in the middle under everyone's watchful eyes. Just as he stood firm within the formation, Lin Jing immediately felt the pulling force of the teleportation. As the pulling force grew stronger, within moments, Lin Jing's entire form vanished from the formation, teleported away. Inside the 5 elements main hall, the teleportation array at the entrance, silent for many years, suddenly lit up with a glow, growing brighter and brighter. Not until it illuminated the entire main hall did the light slowly fade away. When the light had completely dissipated, Lin Jing appeared above the formation. Returning to the 5 elements main hall, Lin Jing first swept his gaze around. The main hall hadn't changed at all. It was still the same as before. The 3 platforms, which had lost their function, still stood there. And behind the platforms, the gigantic statue of the 5 elements ancestors still stood tall and imposing. Following that, Lin Jing walked out of the formation and headed towards the statue. After making a round around the statue, Lin Jing came behind it, where the teleportation array to the 5 elements ruins was located. This formation was also unchanged from last time. After making a round of the Great Hall, Lin Jing then returned to the front, waiting for another person to enter. It wasn't long before. The teleportation array lit up once more, and after the light faded, another person appeared. This person was none other than the true Dragon Island's island master, Dragon Daoran. Upon entering, Dragon Dowren first swept his gaze around and then looked towards Lin Jing at the front. Then, he walked over to Lin Jing. Even though Dragon Dowren seemed harmless at that moment, Lin Jing still kept his guard up in secret. Approaching Lin Jing, Dragon Dowren appraised him for a moment, then spoke. Lin Daoyu, the last time I saw you, you were still at the nascent soul stage. I didn't expect you to have reached divinity transformation by now. Such speed is truly astonishing. It seems you've encountered quite a few fortunes, Lin Daoyu. For some reason, as he talked, Dragon Dowren took a step closer, shortening the distance between them and Lin Jing. Lin Jing's brows furrowed slightly. Then he discreetly stepped back 2 paces and spoke. Dragon Daoyu jests. To reach the cultivation of divinity transformation, which of us hasn't had great fortunes? Even you, Dragon Dowren, must have had your share of opportunities. Seeing Lin Jing step back, Dragon Dowren didn't come any closer, but instead took a step back and laughed. What Lin Daoyu said is true. Anyone who has reached our realm must have had great fortunes. It was a lapse of judgment on my part. Apologies. It doesn't matter, Lin Jing replied succinctly. Following that, Lin Jing no longer paid attention to Dragon Dowren, who, knowing when to back off, didn't say anything further. The two of them just continued to watch the teleportation array. Before long, the teleportation array glowed once again, signifying that another person had been teleported in. This time, the one who was teleported in was Bai Yi. After entering, just like Dragon Dowren, Bai Yi first scanned the entire Great Hall. After scanning, he then looked towards the 2 men. Next, Bai Yi walked towards them. After approaching, Bai Yi came to stand beside Lin Jing. Then, Bai Yi leaned in close to Lin Jing and spoke. Dragon Dowren may seem harmless, but in fact, he's the most scheming of all, and he's also skilled at divination, knowing how to seek advantage and avoid harm. You must be extra cautious around him. When Bai Yi said this, he didn't lower his voice deliberately. On the contrary, he looked provocatively at Dragon Dowren. Obviously, his words were a warning to Lin Jing, as well as a jab at Dragon Dowren. Dragon Dowren's face turned sour upon hearing Bai Yi's words. He spoke directly, his voice cold, to Bai Yi. Bai Daoyu, although I've formed an alliance with Ling, it's merely to enter these 5 elements ruins. If because of this, you slander me, then I have nothing more to say. Bai Yi looked at Dragon Dowren with cold eyes and sneered. Whether it's slander or not, you know very well in your heart. After Bai Yi spoke, the aura around both men surged instantly, setting them in opposition to each other. Whether it was slander or not only Bai Yi and Dragon Dowren knew, but also in that moment, Lin Jing understood as well. Originally, when Dragon Dowren seemingly moved closer unintentionally, Lin Jing was already somewhat displeased and had therefore moved back. Fortunately, Dragon Dowren did not continue to advance, and Lin Jing let it go. However, after Bai Yi's comment, Lin Jing became instantly vigilant, and as Bai Yi and Dragon Dowren faced off, Lin Jing quietly focused his soul spirit, meticulously scanning himself from head to toe. After one thorough check, he discovered something unusual in one corner of his robe. It was an extremely hidden and faint aura. This aura was so well concealed that, were it not for the fact that Lin Jing's own cultivation was at the 7th layer of divinity transformation, and he had consumed the Jade Soul algae, thereby enhancing his soul spirit a bit more. That aura, he would never detect it. Needless to say, that aura must have been stealthily left behind by Dragon Taoist when he approached just now. The Dragon Taoist was very secretive, and he was also very cautious. He did not leave that aura on Lin Jing's body, but rather on the hem of his clothes. At that time, Lin Jing clearly had his guard up, yet he was still marked by the Dragon Taoist. It had to be said that everything the Dragon Taoist did was indeed very covert. It was exactly after discovering that aura that Lin Jing believed in Bai Yi's words. This Dragon Taoist was not as he appeared to be, but a sinister and cunning character. Although he discovered that aura, Lin Jing did not make it known, nor did he remove it. After all, with the level of strength Lin Jing had shown, he should not have been able to detect that aura. That's why the Dragon Taoist could be so bold. If he himself had removed the aura, that would have been problematic. This aura, Lin Jing would keep it for now and consider it further upon entering the ruins. Just as Bai Yi and Dragon Taoist were at odds, neither willing to give in, the teleportation array lit up once again. This time, it was Li Mingwu who arrived. After Li Mingwu came in, he said nothing and went straight towards the Dragon Taoist. Not long after Li Mingwu was teleported in, the Yin family ancestor also arrived through teleportation. With this, the 5 of them were all present. After the Yin family ancestor entered, he glanced at the few people and then walked towards them. At this moment, Li Mingwu stepped forward and said to the Yin family ancestor, "We agreed beforehand that once we arrived at this 5 elements main hall, we would exchange maps. Shall we begin now?" The Yin family ancestor looked at the few people and then nodded his head, saying, "Yes, let's start." With that, the Yin family ancestor directly took out a fragment of a map. This map was the very map fragment Lin Jing had obtained from the space ring of the Black Shark Gang leader. When the Yin family ancestor took out the map fragment, Bai Yi, Li Mingwu, and the Dragon Taoist also each took out their own maps. The few of them had long coveted the 5 elements ruins and were naturally very concerned about the map of the ruins. Bai Yi had 1 fragment, Li Mingwu had 2, and even the Dragon Taoist held a piece of the incomplete map. After pulling out their maps, they one by one sent the map fragments forward, the pieces floating in front of them. Then, under their control, the map fragments began to automatically piece together, eventually forming one complete map. Though the map had fused together, it was still irregular in shape and appeared to be missing some parts. So, the few of them gathered to observe it. Li Mingwu, having examined the map, couldn't help but frown deeply. This map is not complete, it's missing a piece. Upon hearing his words, the others nodded in agreement. Indeed, what Li Daoyu said is correct. The map does seem to lack a portion, the Yin family ancestor also added. But at this point, the Dragon Taoist turned to Lin Jing and spoke. "Lin Daoyu, when you entered this hall before, did you get only that 1 map fragment?" After saying this, he turned his head to look at a stone platform beside him, and then spoke again. "There are 3 stone platforms here. Could there really be only 1 map fragment?" Hearing the Dragon Taoist's words, Li Mingwu also turned to look at Lin Jing. Lin Jing, upon hearing this, frowned instantly and then spoke. "I already mentioned half a month ago. The items within this 5 elements main hall are related to the 5 elements cultivation technique I practice. There was only that 1 piece of the map." After hearing this, the Dragon Taoist turned to the Yin family ancestor and said, "Yin Daoyu, it's not that I don't trust Lin Daoyu. After all, he was the only one who entered this main hall at that time. We don't know what exactly was inside. We have only his word for it. How about this? Let's have Lin Daoyu reveal what he obtained from this main hall for us all to see. After seeing it, we will naturally be able to discern. Otherwise, without evidence, how can we believe that the items on this stone platform are related to the 5 elements cultivation technique?" At the same time, Li Mingwu too turned to look at Lin Jing. Although he did not speak, his intent was clear to everyone. Obviously, he too did not trust Lin Jing. However, facing such a situation, Lin Jing simply spoke directly to them. "On the statue's finger behind you, there are a few lines of small characters. Go take a look and you'll understand." Being in the current predicament was within Lin Jing's expectations, and even if they persisted, Lin Jing had a backup plan. When he was on Spirit Rock Island, Lin Jing had a lengthy conversation with the Yin family ancestor. There were contingency plans for all kinds of possible situations, and the map obtained inside this main hall was not the incomplete map now assembled. Lin Jing took out the complete map he had obtained from the main hall immediately after finding the Yin family ancestor. Even after looking over the map, the Yin family ancestor made a copy. Now, of this map, only Lin Jing and the Yin family ancestor have a complete version. No one else does. Even Bai Yi, the two had not shared the complete map with him. This 5 elements ruins is divided into 6 layers in total. The first 5 are the metal realm, wood realm, water realm, fire realm, and earth realm. Each of these realms occupies a separate layer, and one can only enter the next realm through a teleportation array. After passing through the first 5 realms, the last 6th layer is the 5 elements territory. And the latter part of the immortal 5 elements technique that Lin Jing is looking for is within this final 5 elements territory. Just now, Lin Jing compared the incomplete maps obtained by the others with his complete version, and found that these incomplete maps only lacked a single piece compared to the complete map. And that missing last piece is the map of the 5 elements territory at the deepest level of the 5 elements ruins. The maps of the other areas, on the other hand, are complete. Without the complete map, there might be some trouble later, but there is no impact on the earlier parts. Hearing this, everyone hurriedly extended their divine sense toward the statue's hand to scan it. Very soon, they discovered those few lines of small characters. After discovering the inscriptions, Long Daoren stopped talking. At this point, the Yin family ancestor timely spoke to Li Mingwu and Long Daoren. Both fellow Taoists must have seen it, right? This 5 elements territory is predestined with Lin Daoyu, and now that we can come here together, we're already taking a great advantage. Moreover, the map is only missing a corner, and even without this corner, we can explore on our own. Don't you agree that this is the case? At this moment, Bai Yi also chimed in on the side. Indeed, this map has been scattered around for many years. My fragment of the map was obtained unintentionally at an auction 100 years ago. That missing piece has probably been lost long ago, who knows where. Why should the two of you still fret over this? Upon hearing this, Li Mingwu glanced at Bai Yi and then spoke. Fine, let's just do it this way for now. We each take a copy of this map, and once we're inside, we'll rely on our own fortunes. As for the parts not covered by the map, we'll explore them ourselves. Everyone nodded. Then, they each made their own copy of the patchwork map with their spiritual power. After copying, they headed toward the teleportation array at the back. This teleportation array, similar to the one outside they encountered earlier, also had a pentagram array in the center. It required the use of 5 tokens simultaneously to activate the teleportation array. Following that, just like before, everyone took their respective positions and used the 5 elements command token to open the teleportation array. As the teleportation array activated, a beam of light shot up into the sky. At this moment, Li Mingwu spoke. I'll go in first this time. No objections, right? The Yin family ancestor glanced at Bai Yi and Lin Jing, then spoke. Then, fellow Taoist Li, please go ahead. As for who would enter the 5 elements ruins first, Lin Jing naturally didn't care. After all, the inside of the 5 elements ruins was vast, and being first to enter didn't guarantee finding treasures. There could also be dangers inside. Therefore, Lin Jing had no desire to compete for the order of entry. The Yin family ancestor and Bai Yi seemingly shared Lin Jing's thoughts. And Long Daoren naturally wouldn't compete with Li Mingwu either. Afterward, Li Mingwu stepped into the center of the teleportation array. As the light of the teleportation array flashed, Li Mingwu disappeared. After Li Mingwu left, the second person to enter was Long Daoren. Then came Bai Yi. Following Bai Yi, the Yin family ancestor also went in. After the Yin family ancestor entered, only Lin Jing was left in the 5 elements main hall. Lin Jing looked around. Then he too stepped into the teleportation array. A pure white sky, a black ground, and on the ground, the occasional glint of gold or silver light. This was the scene that Lin Jing witnessed upon entering the 5 elements ruins. After Lin Jing was teleported in, he didn't encounter a single soul, just himself alone. Upon entering, Lin Jing felt something was off. He immediately extended his divine sense, allowing it to stretch out. However, Lin Jing's divine sense only reached a distance of 100 meters before it could extend no further. For a moment, Lin Jing was extremely shocked. The 5 elements ruins actually had a suppressing effect on divine sense. Outside, Lin Jing's divine sense could easily cover an area of several hundreds of miles. But here, even with all his might, It only extended just over 100 meters before reaching the limit of his divine sense's range. The suppression of divine sense in the Five Elements ruins was just too severe. Unable to use divine sense was extremely inconvenient. If there was any danger, it would be difficult to detect it in time. However, since the entire first layer of the Five Elements ruins was like this, it was likely the same for everyone else. He just needed to be more careful and cautious. It was unknown, however, if the other layers were the same. Following that, Lin Jing looked up and ahead. At a glance, besides the pure white sky and black ground, there were also metallic fragments randomly scattered on the ground, emitting dazzling light. There was nothing else. No flowers, no trees, no rivers or lakes, and even the black ground was just some unknown type of black metal, not real soil. This place was the metal realm, the first layer of the Five Elements ruins. Lin Jing had initially thought that upon being teleported in, it would be like before, with a fixed teleportation spot. But only after being teleported did Lin Jing come to a realization. The teleportation was random. Now recalling Li Mingwu's actions before the teleportation, Lin Jing even began to suspect whether he knew about the situation inside the Five Elements ruins. During the earlier discussions, Li Mingwu might have concealed something and not told them the full truth. However, even if he really did hide something, that was all it could be. From now on, one could only take things one step at a time. However, before that, there was another matter to take care of. Lin Jing then looked down at the hem of his robe, where a trace of dragon Taoist's aura lingered. The aura was so faint that it was difficult to detect, even in the Five Elements ruins. Clearly, Dragon Taoist had left this extremely faint aura on purpose, with the sole intent of using it to sense his location. With divine sense being suppressed in this place, Dragon Taoist's method of using this subtle method to probe his position was undoubtedly proof that he must know something about the conditions within these ruins. Exactly how they came to know of this, Lin Jing did not know. But with this, entering the ruins without these key pieces of information placed Lin Jing and the Yin family ancestor at a disadvantage. There was no helping it, since Lin Jing had not known about the Five Elements ruins for very long, and the Yin family ancestor was only brought in by Lin Jing at the last moment. Clearly, he knew very little as well. Li Mingwu and Dragon Taoist were different, though. 2,000 years ago, Li Mingwu had entered the Five Elements ruins alongside true Master Ling Yin, and it was then that true Master Ling Yin was harmed. It was evident that Li Mingwu had long studied these ruins, so it was not surprising that he knew some details about them. Li Mingwu certainly had shared some of what he knew with Dragon Taoist, so the latter likely knew quite a bit as well. Following that, Lin Jing directly tore off the corner of his robe that had Dragon Taoist's aura. After tearing it off, Lin Jing did not discard it, but instead placed it inside his space ring. Since Dragon Taoist wanted to track him using this method, Lin Jing could also think of a way to use this to his advantage and turn the tables on him. This location was utterly empty, with nothing else around, definitely not suitable for action now, so he could only put it away first and prevent being tracked for the time being. Having finished that, Lin Jing took out the complete map from the space ring, spread it out, and began to examine it. This map was simply a topographical map, recording the terrain of every layer within the ruins. Besides the topography, there were 2 marked locations on each layer. One of these marks, located in the central area of each realm, was indicated with a mark. That was the most dangerous place of the entire layer, and also the most likely location for the metal spirit to appear. Additionally, the map indicated that, in the center of each layer, not only would there be a metal spirit likely to appear, but also there was a high chance of extremely rare treasures emerging. The other mark on the map was the place to leave this first layer, the metal realm. If Lin Jing wanted to leave the metal realm and go to the next level, he would have to make his way there. After looking at the map for a while, Lin Jing memorized the terrain of the metal realm and then put the map away again. After that, Lin Jing needed to confirm his current position before deciding on his next move. Should he head to the central region of the metal realm within the five elements and snatch the true spirits and peerless treasures? Or should he bypass this place and go directly to the next level? Actually, Lin Jing, possessing the five elements spiritual root, did not need to snatch true spirits to advance to the solidifying body realm, as he could cultivate them on his own. Moreover, the true spirits he cultivated would be more attuned to his body than those derived from nature. It would also enable him to exert his strengths more effectively. The only reason Lin Jing was here was for the immortal five elements technique. But with Li Mingwu and Long Taoist present, if they did indeed encounter each other, Lin Jing could help the Yin family's ancestor compete for it. Even by he could assist him. At the very least, they must not allow Li Mingwu and Long Taoist to obtain it first. According to the Yin family's ancestor, Li Mingwu was just missing one true spirit to collect all the five elements' true spirits and advance to the solidifying body realm. As for which one he lacked, even the Yin family's ancestor did not know. But if Li Mingwu managed to get that true spirit, then he could directly use it to advance to the solidifying body realm. Packing away the map, Lin Jing rose into the sky and flew toward the distance. In the metal realm of the five elements, the spiritual energy was imbalanced. The metallic attribute spiritual energy was overwhelmingly rich, while the energies of the other attributes were sparse, barely amounting to even 1/10 of the metal energy when combined. The abundance of metallic energy in this place made it uncomfortable for Lin Jing, who cultivated the five elements cultivation technique. After all, outside, even in the demonic monster sea, the five elements were balanced. Lin Jing had never before encountered a special region dominated by one type of energy. For Lin Jing, the optimal way to absorb spiritual energy was a balanced distribution of the five elements. So absorbing energy in a place filled with metallic energy was extremely difficult for him. This place was a paradise for those cultivating metallic attribute techniques, and their spells would greatly increase in power here. But for cultivators of other attributes, it was extremely uncomfortable. Luckily, the immortal five elements technique was exceptionally unique, allowing Lin Jing to absorb energy even in a place filled only with metallic spiritual energy. He only needed to transform it using the immortal five elements technique after absorbing it. Though effortful, it was still much better than for the others. If he really found it bothersome, Lin Jing could also enter the system space. After all, the system space was not affected by the rules of this world. As he flew, Lin Jing quietly noted the terrain he passed. Without knowing his location, Lin Jing had no choice but to memorize the terrain and compare it with the map to determine where he was. After flying for most of the day, Lin Jing matched the terrain with the map and determined his location. This place was on the eastern edge of the metal realm of the five elements. To leave this realm, he had to cross the entire metal realm to reach the far west, because the exit from this realm was located in that extreme western land. After confirming this, Lin Jing was rather speechless. His luck was truly terrible to be transported to the farthest spot from the exit. Being sent to any other place would have been better. He wouldn't have had to cross the entire metal realm. But what's done is done. There was no other way, so he could only continue flying westward. And so, Lin Jing continued his journey westward. The metal realm of the five elements was incredibly monotonous, with only the black metallic earth and the flickering gold and silver lights shining from the ground. Nothing else. However, the closer to the central region, the more numerous the gold and silver flickering lights became. But other than that, there were no changes. As time went by, Lin Jing, while flying forward, suddenly felt a sense of alarm, as if danger was approaching. After sensing danger, Lin Jing immediately stopped. He quickly expanded his divine sense, careful to defend himself. Since his divine sense was suppressed, even when expanded, the range it covered was limited. Lin Jing had to keep sweeping his surroundings vigilantly. However, after scanning the area, Lin Jing did not detect anything amiss, and the sudden sensation of danger he had felt disappeared just as quickly. But just as Lin Jing was puzzled, Suddenly, a flash of silver-white light streaked by. The silver-white light, hidden in the air with no energy emanating from it, was difficult to detect without close observation. It was only because this silver-white light entered the range of Lin Jing's divine sense that he became aware of it. The light moved so fast that by the time Lin Jing reacted, it was already in front of him. Fortunately, Lin Jing reacted swiftly. By the time the silver-white light entered his divine sense range, there was no time to cast a spell. Lin Jing made a split-second decision and threw a punch directly. This punch, carrying peerless might, distorted the space in front of Lin Jing. However, the silver light seemed to detect the strength of Lin Jing's punch and attempted to flee. Yet, under Lin Jing's punch, escape was simply not an option. With Lin Jing's punch blasting out, it heavily struck the area where the light flickered. Boom! A loud noise followed by a crack sound, like that of some metal object breaking, echoed through the air. Immediately after, a silver-white liquid poured out. It was not until then that Lin Jing had a sense of feeling. This seemed to be a kind of intelligent beast. Afterward, the thing that attacked Lin Jing in front finally revealed its form. It indeed was a strange beast. And this strange beast seemed to also be capable of becoming invisible. No wonder Lin Jing had not noticed anything before. As the silver liquid flowed out, the beast's shape also slowly became visible. It was an owl-like beast, only much larger in size and completely silver-white in color, resembling a skeleton and just as smooth as if cast from silver metal. On its forehead was a silver bead. However, the silver bead seemed to have been shattered by Lin Jing's punch just now, and the liquid inside it was leaking out. As the silver liquid kept leaking, the body of the silver giant owl became more and more visible. Clearly, it was the liquid inside the bead on its forehead that made it invisible. Upon the death of the silver giant owl, its body began to fall downward. Seeing this, Lin Jing reached out and directly caught the silver giant owl in his hand. This silver giant owl could hide its form and breath. Lin Jing was indeed going to study it carefully. Afterward, holding the giant owl in his hand, Lin Jing descended toward the ground below. Beneath Lin Jing was a mountain peak. This mountain peak was also black like the other areas, with flashes of silver and gold light on it. Lin Jing descended from midair and landed on the peak. Just as Lin Jing set down the corpse of the silver giant owl he was holding, intending to study it, unexpectedly, another incident occurred. In front of Lin Jing, the black ground suddenly lifted a large chunk without warning, and this piece of ground flew directly at Lin Jing. Fortunately, having just experienced the attack of the silver giant owl, Lin Jing was still on high alert. The moment there was any movement in the black ground, Lin Jing had already noticed it and was prepared. Immediately, Lin Jing threw another punch directly forward. Under Lin Jing's fist, the uplifted piece of ground shattered into pieces with a thud. After the ground split open, a turtle-like strange beast was revealed within it. The entire body of this strange beast, like the ground itself, was completely black, except for its eyes, which were different. One glowed with a golden light, while the other shimmered with a silver light, much like the golden and silver flashes that could be seen everywhere on this black land. This camouflage was simply perfect. With the suppression of divine sense and relying only on visual observation, it was very difficult to detect their disguise. However, even though this turtle-like strange beast pounced toward Lin Jing, its speed was not as fast as the silver giant owl beast. With a punch from Lin Jing striking the turtle's shell, it felt like hitting steel. The shell on the back of the old turtle was extremely hard. But sadly, this hard shell could not withstand Lin Jing's strike. With just one punch, the shell on the turtle's back cracked open, and the turtle's flesh was shattered, spilling out a large amount of silver blood, dyeing the entire ground silver. And the old turtle died instantly as a result. After killing the old turtle, Lin Jing did not relax. He quickly spread his divine sense to inspect the ground below, to check if there were any other beasts lying in ambush nearby. After some investigation and ensuring that there was no ambush by any other beasts in the vicinity, Lin Jing finally breathed a sigh of relief. Both the giant owl and the old turtle beast were extremely difficult to detect when they were concealed. Lin Jing was certainly going to find out why. For hours passed, and on top of the mountain, the bodies of the giant owl and the old turtle beast had been disassembled by Lin Jing. In addition, there was another complete old turtle corpse lying next to Lin Jing. After disassembling them, Lin Jing finally understood why these strange beasts could hide. It was all because of spiritual power. The first layer of the five elements ruins was the metal realm, where metallic attribute spiritual power was dense. And those two beasts relied on metallic attribute spiritual power for their survival. Moreover, the stronger the metallic attribute spiritual power, the stronger their abilities. Besides, these strange beasts also had an ability to use metallic attribute spiritual power to conceal themselves, thus making it hard for enemies to sense their presence. That was the reason why Lin Jing couldn't feel anything before these strange beasts attacked. Even the giant owl had a special ability to become invisible, making it even harder for Lin Jing, who could not use divine sense to detect it. Knowing that there were these beasts that could launch stealth attacks at any moment, Lin Jing then continued on his way. However, this time, Lin Jing was more cautious to avoid being ambushed. In the blink of an eye, more than a month had passed. The expanse of the metal realm of the five elements was vast. It took Lin Jing more than a month to reach the central area of the metal realm. At that time, Lin Jing, wearing a black straw raincoat, walked unhurriedly across the black land. This black straw raincoat, coupled with the lack of any breath emanating from Lin Jing's body, made it easy to overlook him unless one looked closely. The straw raincoat on Lin Jing's body was made from the softer underbelly hide of the old turtle beast. Wearing this raincoat in the metal realm not only hid his form, the most important thing is that it can conceal one's own aura. This helps avoid attacks on oneself. Since the first attack, as I proceeded towards the central region, the frequency of such attacks increased. Even my distinct aura, compared to that of the five elements metal realm, directly attracted the besiege of those exotic beasts. Although these beasts couldn't harm Lin Jing, they were quite annoying. Countless exotic beasts attacked from dawn till dusk without rest. And furthermore, the closer Lin Jing got to the central region, the more powerful these beasts became. Dealing with each beast required a considerable amount of energy. It nearly brought Lin Jing to a point where he could hardly move. Out of necessity, Lin Jing had to find other ways to evade these beasts' attacks. It was by chance that Lin Jing discovered that the hide of an old turtle beast could block one's aura. Therefore, Lin Jing thought of this method. Using the hide of the old turtle beast, he crafted such a cloak. And indeed, after donning this cloak and forcefully suppressing his own aura, he could actually deceive the perception of those beasts. He could even deceive those huge owl beasts in the sky. However, after putting on this cloak, Lin Jing could no longer fly, forced instead to walk on the ground. And he couldn't move too fast either. If he moved too quickly, he would still be noticed by those beasts. Lin Jing walked lightly, without making a sound on the ground. At the moment, not far from him underground, there lay a slumbering old turtle beast. Although it was sleeping, any disturbance would immediately wake it up, and it would instantly attack Lin Jing. This situation was something Lin Jing had encountered many times before. The old turtle beast had already been detected by Lin Jing's divine sense. However, Lin Jing chose not to disturb it. As long as it was not agitated, it would continue sleeping and would not attack Lin Jing. Currently, this area is already within the central region of the five elements metal realm, where the metallic attribute spiritual energy is even more concentrated. And these beasts are even more formidable. Lin Jing just wanted to quickly pass through here and didn't wish to provoke them without reason. Passing by the slumbering old turtle beast, Lin Jing continued forward. Ahead of Lin Jing was a mountain range soaring into the clouds, stretching endlessly. Beyond this mountain range lay the heart of the five elements metal realm, the most central area. The five elements metal spirit resides in that central area. And furthermore, if he wanted to cross here to travel to the far west of the metal realm, he would also need to traverse this mountain range. Lin Jing lifted his head, looking towards the mountain range ahead. The mountain range spanned from the south to the north, with no end in sight. At the top of the entire mountain range, there was a shimmering golden light glittering brightly. It seemed that even the mountain range was extraordinary. Merely glancing upwards, Lin Jing then stopped hesitating and continued towards the direction of the mountains. The mountain range was towering, visible from afar, but it wasn't so easy to approach. It took Lin Jing 5 days just to reach the foot of the mountains. Then, after 6 more days, Lin Jing traversed the towering range and finally entered the core area of the center. Within this core area, Lin Jing was even more cautious. The beasts in this core area were 3 times larger compared to those in the outer central regions. Presumably, the strength of these beasts would be even more terrifying. However, the closer to the core area, the greater the danger, which was to be expected. Lin Jing continued forward, now even more cautious and slower than before. Finally, after 2 days, just as Lin Jing began to climb a hillside, he sensed a dangerous aura coming from ahead. That's when Lin Jing stopped. He decided not to proceed any further from here. Further ahead should be the very center of the 5 elements metal realm, an extremely dangerous place. At the same time, if there truly existed a 5 elements metal spirit, it would also appear there. Ahead lay danger. A rash move could awaken the beasts, and in this place, divine sense was suppressed to an extreme extent. To investigate, he would have to find another method. But for Lin Jing, this wasn't really a problem at all, because he had the system space. After stopping, Lin Jing immediately invoked the system and entered the system space. Once in the system space, without delay, Lin Jing entered observation mode. Inside the system space, using observation mode to scout was much safer than doing it himself outside. And furthermore, the range of this scouting was much wider than using divine sense. Lin Jing, now in observation mode, watched as his viewpoint appeared directly above where he had just been standing. Afterwards, Lin Jing controlled the viewpoint to continue scouting ahead. In observation mode, Lin Jing no longer had any concerns and directly controlled the viewpoint to rise. Soon, the viewpoint surpassed the summit of the mountain he was on, and he could see the scene ahead. On the other side of the mountain where Lin Jing was located, in a valley, lay a colossal golden turtle. This giant turtle was so large that its body covered an area of 1,000 zhang in diameter. It nearly filled the entire valley. The sense of danger Lin Jing had felt before came precisely from this giant turtle. And most crucially, as Lin Jing watched this golden giant turtle, he also noticed 2 figures in black armor acting stealthily. Just by their stature, Lin Jing recognized them. These 2 people were none other than Li Mingwu and Dragon Taoist. Like Lin Jing, the 2 of them were wrapped in hides taken from the old turtle to mask their presences. At this moment, they were on another mountaintop, slowly moving toward the valley. Observing them, they seemed to be exceedingly cautious. They appeared acutely afraid of disturbing the golden turtle that was sleeping. As the saying goes, know yourself and your enemy, and you will never be in peril. Having spotted the 2, Lin Jing was certainly inclined to investigate further to see exactly what they were up to. Along the way, he hoped to learn something about the 5 elements ruins from them as well. However, the 2 were located on the opposite side of the valley, a good distance away from Lin Jing. Given the range Lin Jing could observe in observation mode, he was still far away from the 2. If he wanted to observe them, Lin Jing had to close their distance and enter the system space at a position not far from them in order to explore their actions. Luckily, the divine sense in this space was greatly suppressed. Even with divine sense, they probably couldn't detect far. This meant that Lin Jing, drawing closer to them, had a much lower chance of being detected. Thinking thus, he recorded their position under observation mode, surveyed the surrounding terrain to determine the route forward. Having planned everything, Lin Jing then exited observation mode and left the system space. Upon exiting the system space, Lin Jing reappeared at the location he had been before. Following, instead of continuing to climb toward the mountain peak, Lin Jing turned and walked down the slope. After descending the slope, Lin Jing skirted around the base of the mountain, heading towards the direction where Li Mingwu and Long Daoren were. Throughout this journey, Lin Jing was extra careful, lest he disturb the ancient turtle beast lurking underground. At this distance, if Lin Jing alarmed the creature and a fight ensued, Li Mingwu and the other would definitely notice. In fact, he might even disturb the golden turtle. After all, only a single mountaintop separated them. Lin Jing naturally needed to be very cautious. In this manner, it took Lin Jing an entire day to travel from his mountain to the foot of the mountain where Li Mingwu and his companion were located. From there, although there was still some distance to the mountain they were on, he could go no further. Any further, and he would be discovered. The mountain currently shielded him from their sight, which was just perfect. There, below that mountain, Lin Jing once again entered the system space. From within observation mode, Lin Jing saw the two men, who were not at the mountaintop but in the valley. The two were moving extremely slowly within the valley, as if inching along, and that colossal golden turtle was just 1,000 yards away from them. At such a distance, the turtle could probably reach them with just a step. However, the golden turtle was still asleep and hadn't woken up, unaware of Li Mingwu and his companion approaching it. Li Mingwu and Long Daoren moved incredibly slowly, fearing they might awaken the giant turtle. Inside the valley, every time they moved a distance, they would stop for a while, seemingly busy with something. However, Lin Jing was at the base of the mountain outside the valley and couldn't observe them closely enough. He could only watch from afar by raising his observation angle. Therefore, Lin Jing couldn't determine what they were actually doing. Clearly, observing from this mountain base wouldn't suffice. From the base of the mountain, he was still too far from them. Lin Jing would need to climb to the mountain peak. It took him over 2 hours more to climb from the base to a spot near the mountain peak. It was here that Lin Jing called out the system, murmuring in his mind, "Enter system space." As the scene in front of him changed, in the next moment, Lin Jing vanished from the spot, entering into the system space. After arriving in the system space, Lin Jing immediately activated observation mode. Next, Lin Jing, once again through the observational view, saw the outside situation. During the time it took Lin Jing to climb up the mountain, Li Mingwu and Long Daoren had already retreated from the valley. At this moment, they were climbing from the foot of the valley towards the mountain peak. Lin Jing adjusted the observation view, narrowing the distance, directly arriving in front of the two men. Upon close observation, Lin Jing could clearly see them. The two were dressed in black armor, which was tightly wrapped around their bodies. Even other exposed parts were coated with a layer of silver fluid. This silver fluid, Lin Jing knew, was from the cranial bead of a silver giant owl that enabled the owl to become invisible. After killing the silver giant owl, Lin Jing had also tried this fluid, which hadn't made him invisible, but, at most, shielded his sense like his armor from other beasts. But the armor alone was enough. So Lin Jing hadn't thought much of this silver fluid. Yet, they were not only the armor, but had also applied the silver fluid. Now, both of them moved very slowly and were extremely cautious, even occasionally looking back at the golden turtle behind them. Seeing their caution, Lin Jing couldn't help but have a malicious thought. If he rushed out now, startling the golden turtle, their previous efforts would most likely be in vain. However, although such an idea appeared, Lin Jing would not actually do that. Doing so, firstly, would easily put himself in danger. Secondly, Lin Jing still didn't know what the two were doing in the valley, or what their true purpose was. If he wanted to take any action, he needed to understand their goals first. Before that, it was necessary for Lin Jing not to disturb them and to carefully observe their actions. Li Mingwu and Long Daoren moved slowly, taking most of the day to finally climb back to the mountaintop. After crossing the mountaintop, the two did not stop but continued down the mountain. Lin Jing followed and observed them for a while, noting that the two did not speak to each other, but just kept moving downward. It made sense since, even though they had left the valley, they were still too close to the golden turtle. Even a slight noise could disturb it. Once out of the valley, their descent down the mountain sped up. Lin Jing used the observation mode to follow them, until the two reached the foot of the mountain and continued outward, moving beyond the maximum range of the observation mode. To avoid wasting time, Lin Jing chose a spot where the two couldn't see him and used fixed-point teleportation. He had to ensure he didn't lose track of them if he was to glean any information from them. Afterward, the two men kept walking outwards, seemingly no longer concerned about the golden turtle. But Lin Jing knew that was not possible. If they weren't planning to deal with the golden turtle, they wouldn't have entered the valley in the first place. This way, the two walked ahead, and Lin Jing silently followed behind them. 2 days later, perhaps feeling they were far enough not to disturb the golden turtle, the two finally took off their armor and stopped hiding. Once they exposed themselves, they were immediately attacked by several magical beasts. Facing these assaults, the two men fought back mercilessly. They used powerful spells and even resorted to various magical treasures. And together, it didn't take long before they had slain all the attacking beasts surrounding them. After killing the magical beasts, they extracted the silver blood from the creatures' bodies and collected it all. Once the blood of the magical beasts was collected, the two men set off again, heading to another location. At the next site, more hidden beasts attacked them. These beasts, undeterred by fear of death, would immediately attack upon sensing their presence. And the two men fought back again, killing the assaulting beasts. This way, the two continued forward, relentlessly killing magical beasts, whether they were burrowing old turtles or massive owls in the sky. None were spared. Meanwhile, Lin Jing silently trailed behind, making no noise whatsoever. After another 3 days, having jointly killed over 100 magical beasts. Finally, after slaying the last old turtle beast, the two stopped. After killing the beast, Long Daoren stepped forward, took out a jade vial, and collected all the blood from the old turtle beast. After collecting the blood, Long Daoren returned to Li Mingwu's side, handed him the jade vial, and then spoke. With so much essence blood from the magical beast, should that be enough? Li Mingwu opened the jade vial, peeked inside, and then nodded. Enough. With these essence bloods, we can lure out that giant golden turtle. Upon hearing this, Long Daoren nodded slightly, and then spoke again. Now that we have collected the essence blood of these beasts, you can tell me what to do next, right? Of course, Li Mingwu continued. Earlier, we had placed an extremely covert formation within that valley. Next, we will need to place these essence bloods within those formations. Once we evacuate, we can detonate the formation. Once the formation is detonated, it will certainly enrage the golden turtle, at which point I will lead the enraged golden turtle away. Beneath the golden turtle, there is a deep pit, and the metallic attribute of the 5 elements spirit should be within that pit. After I lead the golden turtle away, you should take the opportunity to approach the pit and retrieve the metallic attribute 5 elements spirit inside. At this point, Li Mingwu changed his tone slightly, cautiously adding, "You must remember, even without that golden turtle, the pit is still very dangerous. You must be extremely careful." Long Daoren, upon hearing this, nodded. "I'm well aware of that," he assured. Having said this, Long Daoren looked at Li Mingwu and spoke again. "This time, as I help you get this metallic attribute of the 5-element spirit, the fire attribute 5-element spirit you promised to obtain for me, you must not go back on your word." Li Mingwu looked directly at Long Daoren and replied, "Don't worry. Since we have formed an alliance, I will certainly keep my word." While listening to the conversation between the two, Lin Jing pondered. It wasn't difficult to discern from their exchange. This metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit was something Li Mingwu needed. Previously, the Yin family patriarch had mentioned, Li Mingwu only lacked one type of 5 elements true spirit to advance to the solidifying body stage. Could the one he was missing be the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit? If that was the case, then he mustn't let him obtain it so easily. He must snatch it away. Otherwise, if Li Mingwu got his hands on this metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit by the time they met again, it was very likely he would have refined the 5 elements true spirit and advanced directly to the solidifying body stage. By then, all of them combined would not be a match for Li Mingwu. The difference between the solidifying body stage and the divinity transformation stage was just too vast. It was not something that could be compensated for merely by numbers. It was at this moment that the Dragon Taoist spoke up and asked Li Mingwu, "The records you obtained about the 5 elements ruins before, aside from the first layer, I presume you know something about the other layers as well. Shouldn't you also share this information with me? If we're separated by teleportation again, I will be able to stay vigilant." Upon hearing this, Li Mingwu looked toward the Dragon Taoist and then nodded, saying, "Of course. The jade slip I obtained earlier contains some key information about the first 5 layers. You already know about this first layer, so there's no need to go over it again. Next, I will tell you all about the other layers." Following that, Li Mingwu began to tell the Dragon Taoist. As he spoke, Lin Jing also listened carefully. The second layer is the wood element realm. The wood realm is overgrown with vegetation. Upon entering, one must be exceedingly cautious. Many of the plants have developed sentience and will actively attack intruders. And just like this metal realm, they are extremely adept at camouflage, blending in with the common flora, and are very difficult to distinguish. Apart from those sentient creatures, there is also a special type of being similar to demonic beasts, collectively known as wood spirits. Wood spirits usually hide among the trees, concealing their aura. As soon as they sense an intruder, they will also launch an immediate attack. Dealing with the wood spirits is not too difficult. The only thing to be cautious of is that wood spirits can wield wood-based spells. Following the wood realm is the water element realm. In the records, the water realm is deemed the most dangerous among the 5 realms. And furthermore, the water realm is the only place that has other cultivators. On hearing this, the Dragon Taoist was utterly astonished. There are actually other cultivators in the water element realm? That's right. Li Mingwu nodded affirmatively. There are indeed other cultivators in the water element realm. The Dragon Taoist then continued to inquire. The 5 elements ruins have been unentered for a long time, so why would there still be other cultivators in the water realm? Li Mingwu looked at the Dragon Taoist and asked, "I presume you know about the Sea of Strange Mists, right?" "Of course I do," the Dragon Taoist nodded. Li Mingwu immediately said, "The cultivators in the water element realm are those who went missing in the Sea of Strange Mists, which in fact is a bizarre phenomenon of the water element realm." As these words were spoken, not just the Dragon Taoist, but Lin Jing was shocked as well. He hadn't expected the enigmatic Sea of Strange Mists to originate from the water element realm of the 5 elements ruins. Li Mingwu glanced at the astonished Dragon Taoist and continued. Moreover, the cultivators swept into the water element realm are not weak. It's said that inside, there are not only cultivators of the solidifying body stage, but even those in Tao, integration, and transcendence tribulation stages. In the water element realm, we must guard against various dangers, but the most important thing is to guard against other cultivators. Especially, you can't let them know that you possess the 5 elements command token that allows you to leave the realm. The 5 elements command token is the only item that can enable one to leave the water element realm. If they learn that you have a token that permits immediate departure, then you will certainly be pursued. By then, even if you wish to escape, you won't be able to. As Lin Jing listened, he took careful mental notes, especially regarding the water element realm. He could not afford to be careless. After finishing the introduction to the water element realm, Li Mingwu did not pause, but continued. The layer below the water element realm is the fire element realm. Aside from being extremely hot, the fire element realm is, comparatively speaking, not so dangerous. Although there will also be special creatures lying in ambush, it's much easier compared to the water element realm. Lastly, is the earth element realm. In the earth realm, aside from the endless yellow sands, the only thing to be cautious of is an enormous worm buried under the desert with a length of 10,000 zhang. This giant worm doesn't stay put in one place like the golden turtle. It can appear at any time, and it is unkillable. Upon encountering it, all you can do is run. No sooner had Li Mingwu's words fallen than the dragon Taoist eagerly asked, "What about the last layer? There's no introduction to the final layer?" Li Mingwu's brow furrowed slightly. "No. As for what lies in the final layer, I have no idea." At this point, Li Mingwu paused and then continued speaking. "In fact, I have always suspected that Lin Jing obtained more than just that map fragment in the Five Elements main hall. It's very likely that the map of the last layer is also with him. But that Yin Yujiang is too protective of him, making it impossible for us to lay a finger on him." As he said this, Li Mingwu turned his head to look at the dragon Taoist. "The mark you placed on Lin Jing before, have you sensed anything during this time?" The dragon Taoist subsequently opened his mouth and said, "Since entering, there's been no sensation. However, there's no need to worry. If the object marked is Yin Yujiang and by E, I can't guarantee it won't be discovered. But that Lin Jing, with his cultivation, no matter what, he cannot detect the mark I've left. It's just that the range of my sensing ability for the mark is within 1,000 miles. Beyond that, I can't sense anything. And considering how vast these Five Elements ruins are, it's quite normal to not sense anything for the time being." Upon hearing this, Li Mingwu nodded slightly. "All right, as long as you have an idea, that's fine. Once we sense that mark, we'll go find him together. I want to see if he really has the final layer of map to the Five Elements territory on him." The dragon Taoist nodded his head, then gazed into the distance. His fingers, meanwhile, did not cease their motions, moving rhythmically with precision, and with each flicker of his fingers, a mysterious aura rose from his body. Seeing this, Li Mingwu didn't say anything. He did not disturb the dragon Taoist either. Until a quarter of an hour later, the dragon Taoist's fingers suddenly stopped, and the mysterious aura surrounding him instantly faded away. Then, the dragon Taoist suddenly spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, his complexion turning pale in an instant. However, the dragon Taoist immediately began to regulate his breathing. A moment later, his complexion returned to normal, and only then did he speak. "It's still no good. For some reason, I can't trace Lin Jing's footsteps." Li Mingwu looked at the dragon Taoist, frowning slightly. "If you can't deduce it, then let it be." The dragon Taoist's brow furrowed deeply before he replied, "We can only leave it at that for now." Afterward, the two did not speak any further. Having slain over 100 demonic beasts, both of them had exhausted a considerable amount. Therefore, they each took out a spirit stone and began to absorb and recover. In this space, suffused solely with spiritual energy, drawing from the energy within spirit stones was undoubtedly the best method. As they began their recovery, Lin Jing quietly withdrew, taking advantage of the restoration time to move a step ahead of them, making his way towards the valley in the core area. Having heard what he wanted to know and aware of their intentions, Lin Jing naturally didn't need to wait for them any longer. Instead, he planned to return to the valley first, to prepare and await their arrival. On his return, Lin Jing quickened his pace. A journey that should have taken 2 days, Lin Jing completed in just over 1. And so he arrived back near the valley. This time when he returned, Lin Jing did not go back to the mountain peak where he had been before. That place was too close to them. Even without divine sense, they could easily detect him. After all, in this metal realm of the Five Elements, there were no trees to hide behind. Everywhere was barren, making it hard to find any cover. This time, Lin Jing took a whole day to circle the valley and came to the top of another mountain. There, at the mountain's peak, Lin Jing directly entered the system space. After entering the system space, Lin Jing activated observation mode and waited for their arrival. This time, only after a whole day passed, did Lin Jing see the figures of the two men appear. Upon their arrival, They entered the valley with the same caution as before. Within the valley, the colossal golden turtle was still in slumber, as if it would never awaken until the end of time. Lin Jing raised his observation angle, watching the two men enter the valley. The route the two men took was the same as the last time. After walking a certain distance, they would stop to place down a jade vial filled with the blood essence of the demonic beasts. The location where they placed the jade vials had been set with extremely concealed formations. After placing the jade vial, all was silent. Neither the golden turtle nor any other demonic beasts were disturbed. Thus, the two continued forward. Gradually, they approached the golden, ginormous turtle. When they were only 1,000 yards away from the turtle, the dragon Taoist stopped and did not go any further. Only Li Mingwu kept moving forward with caution. The two were so close to the turtle that any mishap would likely awake the colossal creature immediately. Seeing this situation, Lin Jing knew. His opportunity had come. The two had placed a tracking mark on him, intending to deal with him. So, naturally, Lin Jing could not let them succeed so easily. Therefore, Lin Jing maneuvered the observation mode to pinpoint their positions, and finding a spot invisible to both, prepared to teleport there. System: initiate fixed-point teleportation. As Lin Jing's words fell, fixed-point teleportation was activated. Ding! System notification. Host has used fixed-point teleportation, deducting 1 harvest point. Remaining harvest points, 67,652. As the system's notification sounded, Lin Jing's view shifted, and he instantly appeared in the outside world. The position Lin Jing emerged in was on the opposite side of the colossal golden turtle, with both Li Mingwu and the Dragon Taoist line of sight obstructed by the turtle, unable to see Lin Jing. However, upon emerging, Lin Jing was still clad in a straw cape and had not revealed his own aura. But then, Lin Jing put a slight force under his foot, causing the ground to immediately collapse and crack open. Beneath the fissure, a circular body several yards wide with a full-body silver glow was exposed. This was a silver-lit giant turtle demonic beast, and Lin Jing's forceful step had struck the creature directly. The previously slumbering giant turtle was immediately awakened. With the silver turtle startled awake, Lin Jing no longer lingered and called out to the system. Enter system space. Then, Lin Jing was teleported once again into the system space. Ooh! As Lin Jing entered the system space, a loud and piercing howl suddenly erupted. The cry came too abruptly. It startled Li Mingwu, who was nearing the golden turtle, and even the dragon Taoist, who had been standing still, suddenly changed his expression. The golden turtle, disrupted as if it had just been awakened, first trembled, and then its eyes slowly cracked open a slit. Seeing this, Li Mingwu immediately ceased to delay. He hurriedly retreated at high speed. By then, he could no longer bother to conceal his figure. Seeing Li Mingwu retreating, the Dragon Taoist didn't dare to delay either and also stopped hiding before quickly flying backward with the cultivation technique in operation. Their retreat was not a big deal, but their auras were completely exposed because of it. The golden turtle, which initially had only a slit open in its eyes, upon sensing their auras, immediately opened its eyes wide. Then, dazzling golden light burst forth from the eyes of the golden turtle. In fact, not only the golden turtle, but also the other mythical creatures in the surroundings, were awakened by this aura. The black and silver turtles, along with the invisible giant owls in the sky, all attacked the two men. During their retreat, Li Mingwu was not idle. Explode! At his single word, the formation they had quietly laid out earlier instantly burst open. The jade vial within the formation, unable to withstand its self-destruction, exploded violently. The mythical beast essence blood inside the jade vial burst forth, spraying everywhere. This sudden explosion of the mythical beast essence blood momentarily stunned the golden turtle and the other creatures, but it was only for half a breath. The creatures then reacted and furiously rushed at the two men. Ooh! The golden turtle itself let out an earth-shattering roar, the sound vast and forming ripples that spread outward in every direction. The ripple moved so fast that when it swept over Li Mingwu, who was relatively closer, he was left somewhat dazed by the shock. Even the ground around them vibrated with this roar. For a moment, the entire valley and the creatures outside the valley were all awakened. After the cry, the ground continued to tremble, and numerous old turtle creatures occasionally burrowed out from underground. In the sky, the invisibly gathering giant owls came together, forming a large mass, even creating a whirlwind. Seeing this, Li Mingwu's brow furrowed tightly as he stared straight at the giant turtle. And the dragon Taoist couldn't help but feel his scalp tingle. If there were only one, or even a few of these creatures, they would not be afraid. And even if dozens appeared at once, although troublesome, they could manage. But with so many creatures together, there were more than just dozens, it was already in the thousands. Aside from these creatures, there was also the massive golden turtle, which by now had fully awakened. By then, the golden turtle had already risen. Its 4 legs, as thick and mighty as pillars of the heavens, supported its huge body. As it rose, beneath the body of the giant turtle, a deep pit exuding a white light was revealed. Just as Li Mingwu had said, beneath the golden turtle was a deep pit, and the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit must be within it. After standing up, the golden turtle lifted 1 foot and then turned its body, seemingly attempting to turn its massive bulk to chase after Li Mingwu and the other. Seeing this, Li Mingwu, while rapidly retreating, called out to the dragon Taoist, "Let's split up. I'll find a way to draw the golden turtle away. If there's a chance, you come back and look for the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit. If there's no chance, prioritize your own safety." With that, Li Mingwu pulled out a talisman emitting a golden light and tossed it to the dragon Taoist. The dragon Taoist didn't waste words. Grasping the talisman thrown by Li Mingwu, he retreated even faster. At that moment, boom! A loud noise came, and under it the entire ground jumped. On the mountains surrounding the valley, the originally immensely hard ground, due to this stomp, directly cracked apart. Many pieces of the black ground with golden and silver gleams split into sections, rolling down the mountain. It was the golden turtle's raised foot which at that moment came down. Though the movement of the giant turtle was slightly slow due to its size, its body was so large that this one step spanned several miles. And this wasn't even its normal walking, but while turning around. The first foot came down, then the golden turtle turned its body while lifting another foot. Just like that, the golden turtle quickly left its original position, chasing after Li Mingwu. Seeing this, Li Mingwu could no longer care about anything else. "Explode! Explode! Explode!" Li Mingwu blurted out, causing the previously laid formation to explode all at once. This formation, originally meant to lure the golden turtle, had to be set off early due to the relentless attacks of the mythical creatures, to help alleviate his own pressure. Seizing the opportunity of the exploding formation, Li Mingwu quickly summoned his magical treasure and fled at high speed. On the other hand, the dragon Taoist, already somewhat behind, naturally retreated even faster. By then, he had already made a breakthrough in another direction. All the movements of the 2 men were clearly visible to Lin Jing, who was in observation mode. Moreover, because the golden turtle was chasing after Li Mingwu, the deep pit under the turtle was also exposed under Lin Jing's observational view. Upon seeing the deep pit, Lin Jing directly controlled the observation view to elevate, surveilled from above, and saw a corner of the pit. Though it was called a deep pit, it actually wasn't very deep. From Lin Jing's position, he could even see half of the turtle shell exposed inside the pit. The turtle shell was golden as well. It was also a golden turtle, but this one wasn't very large and seemed to be an immature golden turtle. At that moment, the immature golden turtle was lying in the pit, entirely motionless despite the commotions outside. On the back of the golden turtle, a sphere emitting white light was quietly floating there. Upon seeing the sphere, Lin Jing knew. That was the metallic attribute of the five-element spirit. However, the golden turtle had just awoken and was still in a rage. And Li Mingwu had not yet departed. Lin Jing naturally wouldn't carelessly appear and invite trouble. If he were to take the metallic attribute of the five-element spirit, it would be after Li Mingwu had left and the golden turtle had also chased away. Since Li Mingwu was serving as bait, why not take advantage of the situation? After deploying the magical treasure, Li Mingwu, who was controlling it, had sped up significantly. In the blink of an eye, he had flown a great distance. But the golden turtle, after turning around, also started to exert force, and its speed was not slow either, roaring and chasing after Li Mingwu. For a moment, the speed of the golden turtle actually surpassed Li Mingwu's. Seeing this, Li Mingwu was also startled. He hurriedly accelerated to his full capacity, continuing to fly forward. Although he wanted to lead away the golden turtle, if it endangered him, he naturally wouldn't want to do it. The speed of the golden turtle, as well as its imposing aura, exceeded Li Mingwu's expectations. If its strength was to be calculated according to the realms of human cultivators, it would be equivalent to a cultivator in the solidifying body stage. A beast in the solidifying body stage was not something he could withstand. Li Mingwu could only flee. However, fortunately, the golden turtle didn't seem adept at speed. Moreover, Li Mingwu's strength was indeed exceptional. Although the golden turtle chased after him, it failed to catch up with him in a short time. Ignoring the other beasts blocking his way, Li Mingwu used the magical treasure to protect himself and forcefully broke through an opening, then fled. Seeing this, the golden turtle also hurriedly followed. Every step the golden turtle took on the ground caused a thunderous boom, boom, boom. The other old turtle-like beasts on the ground were also shaken and flipped over for quite a distance. The golden turtle continued stepping forward, following Li Mingwu out of the valley. Now, Li Mingwu and Dragon Taoist had both fled, and the golden turtle had also chased out, followed by the other beasts. The entire valley was then left with Lin Jing inside system space and the immature, small golden turtle in the pit. Seeing the opportunity was ripe, Lin Jing started to make his move. After pinpointing the location, Lin Jing directly used fixed-point teleportation, choosing a spot not far from the pit. It couldn't be helped. It wasn't that he didn't want to teleport directly into the pit, but due to the limited distance of fixed-point teleportation, Lin Jing could only teleport to this spot. This place, originally under the belly of the golden turtle, had no other beasts and the ground was relatively flat. After using fixed-point teleportation, Lin Jing instantly appeared at the spot he had determined. However, just as he appeared, he felt a dangerous aura emanating from the golden turtle in the pit. The aura, although weaker than that of the giant golden turtle, was also extremely fearsome. Lin Jing didn't dare to underestimate it and immediately entered system space right after teleporting. After entering system space, Lin Jing directly activated the fixed-point teleportation function again, choosing a new teleportation spot. This time, Lin Jing chose a location right next to the metallic attribute five-element spirit on the back of the golden turtle. And to grab the five-element spirit quicker, Lin Jing chose a spot that was less than a foot away from the metallic attribute five-element spirit. This distance was close enough to reach out and grab it. After preparing everything, Lin Jing used fixed-point teleportation again. Ding! System prompt. Host used fixed-point teleportation, deducting 1 harvest point. Current harvest points remaining, 67650. As the system prompt ended, the next moment, Lin Jing appeared right on top of the golden turtle. The moment he appeared, Lin Jing felt the golden turtle beneath his feet react. Then, countless beams of golden light emerged from the back of the golden turtle. These beams, like tentacles, wound around as if trying to bind Lin Jing. But at that moment, Lin Jing ignored the encircling golden light and concentrated his soul spirit power to envelop the white sphere. The five elements spirit had no physical form and could only be transported in this manner. After completely enveloping the metallic attribute 5-element spirit with his soul spirit power. The next moment, without any delay, Lin Jing again summoned the system and teleported himself into the system space. The teleportation force of system space activated, and Lin Jing instantly disappeared from the back of the golden turtle, causing the golden beams that had wrapped around him to miss entirely. After Lin Jing vanished, the metallic attribute of the 5-element spirit also disappeared from the spot with him. From Lin Jing's sudden appearance to the absorption of the metallic attribute 5-element's true spirit and then entering the system space, the entire process took less than half a second. The golden turtle hadn't even fully reacted before Lin Jing had completely disappeared. At this moment, inside the system space, Lin Jing appeared along with the metallic attribute 5-element's true spirit, which also manifested within the system space. Bringing the 5-element's true spirit into the system space did not trigger the extermination rule for external creatures of the system space. The 5-element's true spirit is considered a special spiritual body, inherently lacking spiritual intelligence, and naturally would not trigger the extermination rule of the system space. These were things Lin Jing had already understood. Otherwise, Lin Jing wouldn't have dared to bring the 5-element's true spirit into the system space. After obtaining the 5-element's true spirit, Lin Jing did not linger in the system space. Although he had entered the system space, he had not yet left the danger zone. The golden turtle in the deep pit would probably go mad once it realized that the metallic attribute 5-element's true spirit had been taken by him. It was very likely that its frenzy would draw back the colossal golden turtle. What Lin Jing needed to do next was to leave the place quickly before the colossal golden turtle returned. Afterwards, Lin Jing released his control over the metallic attribute 5-element's true spirit and summoned the system again. Without Lin Jing's control, the metallic attribute 5-element's true spirit did not make any movements, but simply remained stationary, motionless in the same spot. Lin Jing did not pay any further attention to the 5-element's true spirit. Instead, he directly entered observation mode. Subsequently, Lin Jing's perspective appeared above the deep pit. At this moment, the golden turtle in the pit had been alerted and was crawling out, glaring with its fist-sized eyes, ceaselessly scanning its surroundings. After one sweep, and not seeing an enemy, the golden turtle directly lifted its head and emitted a long, mournful howl. Woo! As the howl resounded, Lin Jing knew something was wrong, because this didn't sound like the roar of anger from the golden, colossal turtle earlier, but more like a call for something. Lin Jing knew he had to leave now. If he delayed any longer, and the golden colossal turtle returned, even with the system space, Lin Jing would struggle to escape. Afterwards, Lin Jing directly initiated fixed-point teleportation. The golden turtle below seemed to be calling the giant golden turtle, so Lin Jing chose the opposite direction for where the giant golden turtle had left, selecting the farthest distance and used fixed-point teleportation. Although he used fixed-point teleportation over the maximum distance, Lin Jing was still within the valley. Lin Jing suddenly appeared, only to be sensed immediately by the golden turtle. The golden turtle stopped its howling and twisted its neck to look in Lin Jing's direction. But when the golden turtle looked over, the spot was completely empty, with nothing there. Not finding anything, a flicker of confusion passed through the large eyes of the golden turtle before it turned its head and swept its gaze over other nearby areas. After scanning all nearby areas and ultimately discovering nothing, the golden turtle put away its confusion and continued to howl upward. At this point, all of the golden turtle's actions were clearly observed by Lin Jing through observation mode. Seeing that the golden turtle had not found him and that there were no particular movements, Lin Jing finally relaxed. Just now, after using fixed-point teleportation, Lin Jing did not delay whatsoever, immediately entering the system space as he appeared. The whole process was completed in the blink of an eye. Therefore, although the golden turtle sensed Lin Jing's presence, it did not spot him when it turned around. Fortunately, There were no limits on the number of uses or time to enter the system space, which allowed Lin Jing to employ this method. Otherwise, he would have had to fly out himself. If he started flying here, it would invite trouble. It would surely attract the pursuit from both the golden turtle and other creatures, just as Li Mingwu had encountered earlier. Moreover, from that recent event, Lin Jing had also discovered something. Although the golden turtle was quite sensitive to sensing qi, it seemed its spiritual intelligence had not been developing for long. Therefore, in the face of Lin Jing's sudden appearance, and just as sudden disappearance, its reaction was not very strong. After observing, Lin Jing planned to initiate fixed-point teleportation once more. Now, he was far away from that golden turtle. Just 2 more teleports, and he would be out of the valley. Once out of the valley, Lin Jing wouldn't have to worry about being sensed by the golden turtle. He could then quickly leave the area. After losing the metallic attribute 5 elements, true spirit, the giant golden turtle would surely go insane upon its return. To avoid any repercussions, it was best to leave promptly. As for Li Mingwu and Taoist Long, they no longer required Lin Jing's concern. He would let them face the ire of the giant golden turtle. Sometime later, after 2 fixed-point teleportations, Lin Jing was directly transported out of the valley, appearing on the mid-slope outside the valley. This location was already quite distant from a valley, and Lin Jing was also wearing the cloak made from the hide of a strange beast. Thus, the golden turtle did not sense Lin Jing's presence. At this moment, this mountain, as well as many strange beasts nearby, had all been awakened by the earlier giant golden turtle, and were all chasing after Li Mingwu and Taoist Long. There wasn't a single strange beast left in the area. Without concern for disturbing any strange beasts, Lin Jing quickly accelerated his pace and swiftly left the region. Having left the valley, Lin Jing, to avoid any accidents, did not stop for 2 days and 2 nights. It wasn't until he reached the edge of the central region that Lin Jing finally relaxed. He still hadn't properly examined the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit he had collected. Therefore, after relaxing, Lin Jing once again entered the system space. Upon entering the system space, Lin Jing saw the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit still floating in its original place. At the sight of the 5 elements true spirit, Lin Jing couldn't help but frown. This metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit seemed somewhat uncomfortable in the system space. Lin Jing looked up at the 5 elements true spirit in front of him. The aura of metallic attribute on the 5 elements true spirit was much fainter than when he had first brought it in. The white glow it emitted had also dimmed. Seeing this, Lin Jing immediately stepped forward to examine it closely. After observing, Lin Jing understood what was happening. The reason for this was not the system space itself, but rather the surrounding environment. Previously, this metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit had always been in the metallic realm of the 5 elements, where the spiritual energy of the metallic attribute was extremely dense. It was precisely by relying on this dense metallic attribute spiritual energy that it was able to be nurtured. Now, that it was in a normal environment where the 5 types of spiritual energies were balanced and the metallic attribute spiritual energy was not as dense, the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit naturally felt discomfort. If that was the case, then it would be easy to solve. All Lin Jing needed to do was turn one of the spirit fields into a simulation of the metallic realm. Knowing how to resolve the issue, Lin Jing then left the system space. As soon as he left the system space, Lin Jing directly grabbed a piece of the black ground and lifted it up. The black ground of the metal realm was likely some kind of metal and exceptionally hard. But this hard metallic ground was nothing in Lin Jing's hands. With just a little effort, he was able to lift a large piece of it. Subsequently, Lin Jing, holding the large chunk of black metal, re-entered the system space. Back in the system space, Lin Jing directly concentrated his soul spirit power and wrapped around the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit. As such, Lin Jing, holding that chunk of black metal and using his soul spirit power to envelop the 5 elements true spirit, walked towards the back of the spirit field. Upon reaching the back of the entire spread of the spirit field, Lin Jing opened the system panel and used the spirit field expansion function directly. Since the other spirit fields already had spirit plants growing in them, Lin Jing did not want to waste them, so he used the spirit field expansion function to carve out a new spirit field. As Lin Jing finished operating, the system's notification sound immediately chimed. Ding! System prompt. Host has expanded the spirit field, spending 2,100 harvest points. Current remaining harvest points, 65548. As the system prompt concluded, a piece of vacant land beside Lin Jing began to change. After a while, this vacant land transformed into a new spirit field. With the spirit field formed, Lin Jing directly tossed the black metal into it. He then called out the system and used the environment simulation function to replicate the environment of the metal realm. The metal realm environment simulated by the system space was the same: black soil combined with golden and silvery lights, exactly like that in the external metal realm. Lin Jing then transferred the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit to that spirit field. And sure enough, as soon as it was relocated into the spirit field, the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit immediately seemed different, as Lin Jing distinctly felt that its radiance became more brilliant. Lin Jing didn't know how others preserve their 5 elements true spirits, but this method of preservation probably could only be done by himself. After setting up the 5 elements true spirit, Lin Jing did not linger in the system space and directly left. Having obtained the metallic attribute 5 elements true spirit, it seemed there wasn't much left in the metal realm. As for the treasure mentioned by Li Mingwu, Lin Jing had not seen it in the pit. It might not exist, or it might be located elsewhere. Lin Jing wasn't sure. However, he did not plan to search for the treasure he wasn't even sure existed. And next, it was time to leave the metal realm and go to the next layer. Traveling from the easternmost edge of the metal realm to the middle core region took Lin Jing just over a month. But leaving the core area to reach the extreme west of the metal realm took him less than a month. The westernmost part of the metal realm was different from the east. The sky here was no longer pure white, but had a tinge of blue amidst the white. Clearly, this must be under the influence of the next layer. The next layer was the wood element realm, filled with flowers, grass, and trees, naturally differing in color from the metal realm. When Lin Jing arrived at the extreme west of the metal realm, he could see 5 pillars of light in different colors rising to the sky from a great distance away. These 5 pillars were the teleportation array to the next layer. This teleportation array could be activated simply with the 5 elements command token in hand. Depending on which token each person had, they would use different teleportation arrays. In his hand, Lin Jing had the 5 elements fire command. So, his choice was the red pillar of light. In this westernmost place, there were no more beasts. Lin Jing did not delay and flew at full speed. In no time at all, he arrived at the location of the red pillar, and indeed, below this red light was the teleportation array. Upon his arrival, Lin Jing did not immediately step onto the teleportation array, but first observed it for a moment. Seeing nothing unusual, Lin Jing then, holding the 5 elements fire command, stepped onto the teleportation array. Lin Jing stepped into the teleportation array, and then the teleportation array activated, during which no problems were encountered. Afterward, Lin Jing was teleported away from the metal realm. When the power of that teleportation dissipated and the things before Lin Jing's eyes became clear again, he found himself surprisingly appearing midair. This teleportation array is indeed random. Lin Jing, who appeared midair, did not panic, but immediately stabilized his figure. Then, he directly probed out with his divine sense, exploring his surroundings. In the wood element realm, divine sense was also suppressed. Just like in the metal realm, his divine sense range was limited to within 100 meters. With his divine sense suppressed, Lin Jing stood in the void and then looked down. The distance between Lin Jing and the ground below wasn't too high, merely about a kilometer. He could even see the forest beneath him. The woods below were lush and verdant, where various flowers, grasses, and trees densely covered the entire ground. Even the soil at the very bottom was not visible. And, among those woods, trees 100 meters tall stood one next to another. This place seemed like an ancient forest rarely visited by humans. Just as Lin Jing was preparing to descend to explore the forest below, suddenly, below in the forest, a violent fluctuation of what attribute spiritual power suddenly appeared and then vanished. After the fluctuations of the wood attribute spiritual power disappeared, countless green birds flew out from various places within the woods. These birds were not large, but were incredibly numerous. They could even be described as filling the skies. As if Lin Jing had invaded their territory, these birds flew out of the woods and directly swooped towards Lin Jing in the air. Seeing these birds swooping in, Lin Jing's brows slightly furrowed. Then he gathered his spiritual power and unleashed a palm strike. Lin Jing's palm strike formed a huge palm imprint in the sky. It even enveloped a considerable area below. Many birds who could not dodge in time were directly hit by the palm imprint. However, those birds struck by Lin Jing's spiritual power-formed palm imprint did not burst apart. They did not even spill blood on the spot. Instead, they turned into a flurry of leaves, falling back down. These birds were actually transformed from fallen leaves. Lin Jing's palm imprint, after passing through the birds, directly fell into the woods below. This palm strike was immensely powerful. On the ground below, a gigantic palm imprint was formed, measuring a kilometer across. Under the imprint, those trees that had tightly covered the ground were all reduced to dust. The original gray-brown soil also became visible. Just after this palm strike, several finger-thick vines suddenly appeared in the dense forest below, shooting straight towards Lin Jing. Lin Jing noticed these vines as soon as they appeared. He also prepared himself as spiritual power gathered once more. However, as the vines charged at him and Lin Jing was ready, gathering spiritual power to sever the vines, suddenly, another surge of spiritual power fluctuated from below the forest. As this fluctuation arose, Lin Jing immediately sensed it. He quickly looked toward the source of this spiritual power fluctuation. He saw, standing atop the canopy of one of the trees, a creature less than 3 feet tall that resembled a being grown from a tree itself. This being, much like a tree person, was made entirely of tree bark, with a crown of leaves on its head and a garment sewn from leaves draped over its body. Moreover, in its hands, it held a bare root radiating spiritual power. The wood attribute spiritual power fluctuation Lin Jing had just felt was emanating from this tree person. Upon seeing this tree person, Lin Jing immediately thought of the wood spirit that Li Mingwu had mentioned before. This must be the wood spirit. The wood spirit looked at Lin Jing and then waved the strange root in its hand. As it waved the root in its hand, Lin Jing felt the wood attribute spiritual energy surrounding him change. This would attribute spiritual energy, as if under the control of the wood spirit, formed an invisible wall of spiritual power around him. At this moment, the vines had reached Lin Jing's side, attempting to entangle him. Seeing this, Lin Jing directly transformed his gathered spiritual power into blades of wind and slashed out. Yet, as the blades of wind were unleashed, they slowed down upon encountering the invisible wall of spiritual power and dispersed in the air before reaching their target. Lin Jing understood that his blades of wind were nullified by the spiritual power wall surrounding him. At this moment, the vines had already surrounded him and seemed intent on binding Lin Jing. Knowing that using spiritual power was futile, Lin Jing naturally stopped the pointless effort. Then, Lin Jing reached out and touched the invisible wall of spiritual power before him. Upon contact with the wall of spiritual power, Lin Jing felt his own spiritual power being sealed. If Lin Jing were an ordinary cultivator, his spiritual power being sealed, along with the vines that were about to strike, would likely make it difficult for him to escape. But Lin Jing was not only a caster of spells, but also a body refinement cultivator who practiced the martial Tao. The invisible wall of spiritual power did not affect him significantly. Knowing that the invisible wall of spiritual power's primary function was to restrain his own spiritual power, Lin Jing no longer hesitated. He stepped forward, breaking out of the range of the invisible wall of spiritual power, and the vines that originally sought to entangle Lin Jing abruptly grasped at nothing. Seeing Lin Jing break through the invisible wall of spiritual power, the tree person was taken aback. It hastily waved the root in its hand, attempting to surround Lin Jing with the invisible wall of spiritual power once again. And the vines, following suit, bent back and surged toward Lin Jing once more. But the invisible wall of spiritual power was entirely ineffective against Lin Jing. Seeing the invisible spiritual power wall unable to stop Lin Jing, the wood spirit swung its roots again. Suddenly, a surge of thousands of vines rose instantly from the large tree at its feet, forming a large wooden ball around itself. However, after breaking through the barrier, Lin Jing had already reached the treetop, right in front of the wood spirit. Then, Lin Jing directly gathered 5-colored aurora and probed into the wooden ball, which was unable to block the aurora at all. The 5-colored aurora easily penetrated it. However, after the 5-colored aurora entered, the vine-formed wooden ball rapidly withered and turned yellow, and the wood elemental aura within it quickly vanished. Lin Jing then simply waved his hand, and the wooden ball immediately turned to sawdust, scattering in all directions. The wood spirit inside, however, was nowhere to be seen. It seemed that the wood spirit had used this method to escape. Lin Jing then spread his divine sense, scanning the surroundings. He also scrutinized the farther areas earnestly, attempting to locate the wood spirit. However, after a complete sweep, he still couldn't detect any trace of the wood spirit. Finding a wood spirit adept at hiding in the wood element realm, where wood-attributed spiritual energy was dense, was probably as hard as finding a needle in a haystack. After another thorough search by Lin Jing, the wood spirit was still nowhere to be found. Thus, after pondering for a while, Lin Jing decided to leave the place. As for the wood spirit, if it didn't show up, so be it. But as soon as it did, Lin Jing was determined to seize the opportunity and capture it. After reflecting, Lin Jing then headed into the sky, ready to depart. However, it was at that moment Lin Jing felt the wood element's spiritual power fluctuation again, this time further from him than before. Feeling this fluctuation of energy, Lin Jing immediately turned his head to look in the direction it came from. He saw in a distance, at the top of a treetop, the wood spirit still waving that peculiar root in its hand. With its waving, a large number of trees beneath began to move. Countless vines extended from the branches, swaying as they rose and converged toward Lin Jing's side. The wood spirit clearly was not convinced and was controlling so many trees to attack him. All these vines, like tentacles, crept upwards. The scene was akin to a pool of blood in hell, with countless arms stretching out from within. It was both spectacular and eerie. There were simply too many vines. If Lin Jing used the same method as before, it would be too troublesome. Therefore, this time Lin Jing activated the divine fire triple realm, and a purple flame rose up. He spread a wide swath of flames in his hand, scattering them toward the vines that extended below. On encountering Lin Jing's purple flames, the vines quickly retracted, and some, unable to escape, caught fire instantly. However, the flames did not persist for long, as the large trees severed the connection with the vines as soon as they began to burn. Vines that lost their connection to the main body withered away instantly. Next, Lin Jing once again activated the divine fire triple realm, gathering purple flames. However, this time, before Lin Jing could release the flames, all the vines had already retracted. At this time, the wood spirit, Lin Jing having repelled all the vines, once again resorted to old tactics, attempting to form a wooden ball and escape using that strange technique. Seeing this, Lin Jing stepped forward, accelerating instantly and closing a great distance in a flash. The wood spirit, seeing Lin Jing's speed so fast, became flustered for a moment before hurriedly speeding up the formation of the wooden mass. Witnessing this, Lin Jing accelerated once more and finally appeared in front of the forming wooden ball just as it was about to close. By then, the interior of the wooden ball had already closed, while the outer layers continued to do so. At that moment, Lin Jing reached in with his hand to grab and pull the wood spirit out. However, when Lin Jing reached inside, he grasped nothing. The wooden ball was completely empty. Lin Jing's brows furrowed slightly. Then he withdrew his hand. As Lin Jing's hand was drawn out, the wooden ball withered away, and a gust of wind blew it into fine sawdust, dispersing with the wind. The wood spirit had escaped again. After the wood spirit fled, Lin Jing immediately began searching in the vicinity. The wood spirit had a very unusual method of escape. There was no spiritual power fluctuation when it fled. Even with his divine sense extended, Lin Jing couldn't perceive anything. After meticulously searching the nearby area once more, Lin Jing still could not find the wood spirit. Looking at the lush greenery before him, coupled with the very rich spiritual energy, finding the wood spirit seemed harder than reaching the heavens. After pondering for a moment, Lin Jing decided to first enter the system space, to lie in wait for the rabbit and see if he could catch it. The wood spirit seemed to be sentient, likely even monitoring him, which was why it chose to attack just as he was about to leave. If so, then Lin Jing would set an ambush to see if it would fall for it. Having made up his mind, Lin Jing quietly summoned the system in his mind and then silently chanted, "Enter system space." Then, Lin Jing took a step from the treetop, and the next moment, he disappeared from the spot. Upon entering the system space, Lin Jing did not delay, immediately activating observation mode. As observation mode was activated, Lin Jing's perspective once again appeared above the dense forest. At this moment, below Lin Jing's observational view was the canopy of the 100-meter-tall giant tree he had previously been in. Within observation mode, Lin Jing watched every movement below, uncertain whether the wood spirit would come. The reason for this was simply a gamble. If it really did show up, then Lin Jing would take immediate action, capture it first, and resolve it later. If it didn't appear, it would mean it was probably scared and had truly fled, so he could ignore it. Lin Jing continued to monitor the area in observation mode, and he paid attention to all suspicious sounds. After observing for quite some time, he detected nothing unusual. Just when Lin Jing thought that the wood spirit would no longer appear and was about to exit observation mode and leave, there was some disturbance in the forest below. Lin Jing quickly adjusted the observational view to the midst of the dense forest. Within the forest, from one of the giant tree trunks, a head emerged. This head belonged to the wood spirit. After the wood spirit poked its head out, it looked around left and right, and, seeing nothing amiss, it then extended its body from the tree trunk. No wonder Lin Jing had been unable to find it. The wood spirit had been hiding inside the tree trunk. Quickly, the wood spirit walked out from the tree trunk. Surprisingly, the wood spirit came out from the tree trunk, but there were no cracks on the trunk. It was as if it had merged into the trunk itself. After the wood spirit came out from the trunk, it went directly to the canopy where Lin Jing had previously been. Standing on the canopy, at the spot where Lin Jing had just disappeared, the wood spirit tilted its head and looked downward. It seemed very perplexed. Seeing the wood spirit like this, Lin Jing knew his guess was right. The wood spirit was indeed monitoring him. Lin Jing's sudden disappearance had clearly been witnessed by it. However, since it had appeared again, Lin Jing naturally would not let it escape this time. Through observation mode, Lin Jing noticed that the wood spirit was currently engulfed in confusion, its vigilance significantly reduced. This was a perfect opportunity. Therefore, Lin Jing directly exited observation mode. After exiting observation mode, Lin Jing did not dare to delay, even a moment, and immediately left the system space. Upon leaving the system space, Lin Jing was already prepared. Exiting the system space and reappearing in the outside world, Lin Jing's position was only a few feet away from the wood spirit. The moment Lin Jing appeared, the wood spirit seemed to sense the danger and immediately trembled. It didn't even have time to look back before it prepared to use its strange escape technique again. Numerous vines had already started extending from the tree, wrapping towards the wood spirit. However, given the proximity, Lin Jing certainly would not let it escape this time. No sooner had he emerged than Lin Jing took a step forward and grabbed onto its arm. At the same time, the five-colored aurora that Lin Jing had already conjured flowed along the wood spirit's arm into its body. But before Lin Jing could relax, the arm he was holding in his hands turned into decayed wood in an instant. The decayed wood couldn't withstand Lin Jing's grasp and instantly turned into powder. It was, indeed, an attempt by the creature to sever its limb and survive. Seeing this tactic effective, the wood spirit quickly seized the opportunity to try and escape. However, although it had severed its limb to escape, the five-colored aurora had successfully entered the wood spirit's body. Seeing this, Lin Jing controlled the five-colored aurora inside its body to start stirring, ready to burst at any moment. At the same time, Lin Jing communicated through divine sense without caring whether the wood spirit understood or not. "Stop! If you try to escape again, I will detonate the five elements' power inside you, and you will surely die." After Lin Jing communicated this, the wood spirit trembled and indeed stopped. Then, it turned around, a face full of pleading, looking at Lin Jing. At the same time, a childish voice entered Lin Jing's ears. I won't run. You, please don't kill me." The wood spirit could indeed understand. Lin Jing had guessed correctly. This wood spirit possessed spiritual intelligence. Seeing the pleading look in the wood spirit's eyes at that moment, Lin Jing did not soften his heart. Instead, he once again gathered several streams of five-colored aurora and injected them into the body of the wood spirit. At the same time, he transmitted his voice. "As long as you don't play any tricks and honestly answer my upcoming questions, I won't harm you. However, if you have other ideas, I will immediately detonate the power within you. Do you understand?" The wood spirit hastily nodded. "Understood. Understood." Lin Jing nodded. Only then did he relax, assessing the wood spirit before transmitting his voice and asking, "Why did you attack me?" The wood spirit looked at Lin Jing, a hint of grievance in its eyes, and then responded, "You are an invader. You outsiders, invaders, will destroy our home. Are you calling yourself an invader?" Taken aback upon hearing this, Lin Jing paused for a moment. He then realized that this wood spirit had always lived in the wood element realm and naturally considered it home. Since he had intruded suddenly, in that perspective, Lin Jing truly was an invader. The wood element realm was a necessary destination. Invader or not, it had to be this way. Lin Jing then asked again, "Does your tribe always attack invaders proactively?" The wood spirit nodded, then shook its head. After that, the wood spirit transmitted, "A long time ago, we originally would not attack invaders proactively. But later, invaders from the outside world came. They not only killed our tribe's people indiscriminately, but also tried to steal the true wood spirit, which our tribe has protected for generations. The true wood spirit, that is indeed the true wood spirit. No wonder this wood spirit attacked him on its own. That was the reason." Just at that moment, the wood spirit transmitted again. "Invader, what you desire is the true wood spirit, but the true wood spirit has already been gone for many years. Could you please stop killing our people? If you promise not to kill our people, I will go and beg the old chieftain to give you some other treasure." After hearing this, Lin Jing fell silent for a moment, then looked at the wood spirit and transmitted, "I see you are quite powerful. If I did not have some methods, I might have really fallen for your trick. Your tribe's people, although not as strong as you, should not be much worse, right? How come they're no match for those invaders?" At that, the wood spirit slightly lowered its head, its gaze evasive, not daring to meet Lin Jing's eyes. I am somewhat different. Seeing this, Lin Jing immediately knew the wood spirit was definitely hiding something. Therefore, Lin Jing directly transmitted to the wood spirit, "Come here, let me check your body." Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, the wood spirit immediately became nervous and involuntarily stepped back 2 paces. This action made Lin Jing even more suspicious. Earlier, when Lin Jing had injected the 5-colored aurora into the body of the wood spirit, he had discovered something was off within the wood spirit's body. Inside, it was a presence akin to the true wood spirit. If Lin Jing had not encountered the metallic attribute of the 5 elements true spirit, he might have overlooked it, but having been in contact with the metallic attribute true spirits, he could sense the presence of a similar true spirit. Now, this action further confirmed his suspicion. This wood spirit had a significant connection to the true wood spirit. Seeing the wood spirit's reluctance to come forward, Lin Jing transmitted directly, "I have already detected the true spirit within you. I just want to check, not harm you." Hearing Lin Jing say it directly, the wood spirit trembled and then, with a voice nearly crying, transmitted, "Please don't kill me. The true spirit has already fused with me and cannot be extracted. Even if you kill me, the true spirit will also dissipate with me. Please." Speechless, Lin Jing looked at the wood spirit. It appeared very frightened. He wondered where it had found the courage to attack him initially. Lin Jing continued, transmitting, "I'll see what exactly is inside you. If it's really as you say, as long as you cooperate with my inspection, I won't kill you. But if you do not cooperate..." Lin Jing looked at the wood spirit, his mind stirred, and the 5 elements' power inside the wood spirit's body immediately became agitated. The wood spirit shuddered in fear, looking at Lin Jing and nodding repeatedly. I will cooperate." Having said that, the wood spirit reluctantly approached Lin Jing. Lin Jing then spoke, asking the wood spirit, "What is your name?" Baba Malong." "Baba Malong, good." Lin Jing nodded. Just as he was about to continue questioning, he sensed several ripples of energy approaching from afar. Upon sensing these energy ripples, Lin Jing turned his head toward the direction from which the energy was coming. Upon perceiving the energy, even Baba Malong hurriedly raised his head, following Lin Jing's gaze to look. However, upon sensing the energy, Baba Malong appeared exceptionally excited. Lin Jing looked toward the front and quickly saw several figures appear. These figures were also wood spirits, very similar to Baba Malong. All wore crowns made of woven leaves and cloaks made of leaves as well, even holding staffs resembling tree roots in their hands. The wood spirits moved quickly. Within moments, they had reached Lin Jing. Lin Jing looked at the wood spirits ahead, his brow slightly furrowed. At that moment, the oldest-looking wood spirit among them took a step forward. It first looked towards Papa Malong, who was currently standing beside Lin Jing, and then turned its gaze towards Lin Jing. Following that, the aged wood spirit directly spoke to Lin Jing. "Esteemed human cultivator, please release our clan member." This wood spirit had the strongest aura among those present, and was even capable of speaking human language. It must be the elderly clan leader. However, Lin Jing was not certain and needed to ask. Thus, Lin Jing looked at the wood spirit and then asked, "And who might you be?" The aged wood spirit then responded, "I'm the clan leader of the wood spirit tribe." After speaking, it pointed toward Papa Malong beside Lin Jing and continued, "This clan member is of great importance to our wood spirit tribe. We sincerely hope that you can spare it, and our wood spirit tribe will be eternally grateful to you. Otherwise, our wood spirit tribe would rather sacrifice our entire clan to keep you here. We hope you will carefully consider this and avoid a situation where both sides suffer losses." Having said this, the wood spirit clan leader bowed deeply to Lin Jing. Seeing that the attitude of the wood spirit clan leader was not good, but judging from his actions, Papa Malong was indeed very important. Otherwise, the wood spirit clan leader would not have reacted in such a way. Lin Jing, without further ado, simply looked at the few wood spirits, especially at the clan leader, and said, "I have no intention of being your enemy either. However, Before you ask me to release it, shouldn't you first ask what it has done? Upon hearing this, the Wood Spirit Clan leader immediately turned to look at Papa Malong. Papa Malong, like a child who had misbehaved, quickly lowered his head, not daring to meet the eyes of the clan leader. Immediately, the clan leader understood that it must have provoked Lin Jing first, which was why Lin Jing had captured it. Following that, the Wood Spirit Clan leader's expression became serious, and then he spoke out a strange syllable. Yin percent hashtag. Papa Malong, feeling somewhat ashamed, slowly raised his head. Then the same strange syllables also came out of its mouth. Just like that, the two Wood Spirits began to communicate. At first, only the Wood Spirit Clan leader and Papa Malong were communicating. Latterly, the other few Wood Spirits beside the clan leader also joined the conversation. Although Lin Jing could not understand them, he was not in a hurry and waited patiently until a quarter of an hour later, when the Wood Spirits had finished communicating. After they were done, the Wood Spirit Clan leader bowed to Lin Jing and then said, "Esteemed human cultivator, I am truly sorry. I have not disciplined my clan member properly, and for that, I apologize to you." After saying this, the Wood Spirit Clan leader also gave a stern look to Papa Malong beside Lin Jing, then added, "Papa Malong, apologize at once." Upon hearing this, Papa Malong quickly bent at the waist and gave Lin Jing a bow, at the same time sending a telepathic message. "I'm sorry." Soon after, the Wood Spirit Clan leader once again spoke to Lin Jing. "Human cultivator, the fault does indeed lie with my clan member. I beg you to be magnanimous and spare it." Lin Jing, upon hearing this, looked at the Wood Spirit Clan leader and answered directly, "I can release it, but not right now." Hearing the first half of the sentence, the Wood Spirit Clan leader was initially pleased, but the latter half made him freeze. After a moment of silence, the Wood Spirit Clan leader spoke again. "I know that you have come here seeking the true spirit of wood. You must have sensed the presence of the true spirit of wood within Papa Malong. However, the true spirit of wood has now fused with Papa Malong and cannot be extracted at all. Even if you did manage to forcefully remove the wood spirit from Papa Malong's body, it would surely die, and the fused true spirit of wood would also certainly dissipate. The mistake was made by Papa Malong. Our Wood Spirit Clan sincerely apologizes to you. But if you truly intend to extract the wood spirit from Baba Malong's body, then we of the Wood Spirit Clan will surely fight you to the death." As the Wood Spirit Patriarch's voice fell, the few behind him also stepped forward to show their determination. It appeared that this Baba Malong that Lin Jing had captured was indeed very important to the Wood Spirit Clan. If Lin Jing killed it, he would likely find it difficult to take a single step in the wood element realm. At this moment, the Wood Spirit Patriarch spoke again. "If you can let Baba Malong go, our Wood Spirit Clan will certainly thank you handsomely." After hearing this, Lin Jing directly said to the Wood Spirit Patriarch, "I can let Baba Malong go, but only when I leave the wood element realm. Otherwise, it is impossible. If I really let it go now, who knows if your Wood Spirit Clan will go back on your word and retaliate again. Only by keeping it by my side do I remain safe." Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, the Wood Spirit Patriarch's gaze turned grim. "Do you actually intend to threaten our clansmen? I just said, if you are willing to spare Baba Malong, our Wood Spirit Clan will certainly not trouble you, and will even present you with a grand gift. This promise, I assure you, as the Patriarch of the Wood Spirit Clan." The Patriarch spoke solemnly. After finishing, the Patriarch once again looked at Lin Jing with cold eyes. "If you take Baba Malong away, keeping it with you, who knows if you will take the opportunity to extract the true wood spirit from within him?" Lin Jing, hearing this, looked directly at the Wood Spirit Patriarch and said, "I am keeping Baba Malong by my side only to ensure my own safety. I have no intention of taking its wood spirit." Facing Lin Jing's statement, the Wood Spirit Patriarch seemed unconvinced. "You cultivators from outside come here for the true wood spirit, and now the opportunity is right before you. I do not believe that you can resist temptation. keeping Baba Malong by your side, I cannot rest assured. Just let Baba Malong go, and our Wood Spirit clan will not break our word. The Wood Spirit Patriarch, after saying this, waited a moment, seeing no intention from Lin Jing to release the captive. The look in his eyes became hostile immediately, and the Wood attribute spiritual power around him became more active. The other Wood Spirits beside the Patriarch, upon seeing this, also lifted their root-like staves, similarly gathering massive amounts of Wood attribute spiritual power around themselves. For a while, all of the momentum was directed at Lin Jing. Lin Jing's brows were tightly furrowed as he looked at the Wood Spirit Patriarch. He also grabbed Baba Malong into his hand. However, Lin Jing had only intended to protect himself. If he truly came into conflict with the Wood Spirit clan, that was not what Lin Jing desired. Therefore, Lin Jing extended his hand, gathering a mass of 5-colored aurora, facing the Wood Spirit Patriarch. He then directly spoke to the Wood Spirit Patriarch. I presume you are aware that we human cultivators need the true essence of wood to advance to the solidifying body realm. I possess all 5 elements within me. I do not need the true essence of the 5 elements to advance to the solidifying body realm. I've said before, this true essence of wood is not so important to me. I'm only keeping it by my side to avoid your clan's potential treachery. If you really don't trust us, then we will just have to end up destroying each other. After saying this, Lin Jing's grip on Baba Malong tightened. Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, not only the Wood Spirit Patriarch, but also the other Wood Spirits beside him fell silent. After a moment of silence, the Wood Spirits beside the Patriarch began to communicate with each other in strange, archaic tones that Lin Jing could not understand. Their discussion was very intense. It seemed there were 2 sides holding different opinions, arguing vehemently. Yet the Wood Spirit Patriarch did not participate. It was not until a period that felt as long as the burning of an incense stick that both sides seemed to have reached an agreement. Afterward, one of the Wood Spirits spoke at length to the Patriarch. Then, after listening, the Patriarch nodded his head. He then said to Lin Jing, "You may keep Baba Malong by your side for now. However, we have several demands that you must agree to. Otherwise, we will have no choice but to wage war on you." Lin Jing nodded upon hearing this. "Please speak." The Wood Spirit Chieftain looked at Lin Jing, then spoke directly. "Firstly, Baba Malong can stay by your side as a hostage, but we need to send 2 people to follow you at all times to ensure you do not harm Baba Malong." Lin Jing thought for a moment, then nodded and said, "That's acceptable. However, you can send your people to follow us, but they must not get too close, and they must not attempt to take Baba Malong away. Should there be any attempt to forcefully take Baba Malong before I leave the Wood Element realm, I will immediately detonate the power within Baba Malong's body. At that time, his death is certain, and a war between me and your Wood Spirit clan is inevitable." "Fine. Before you leave this place, our other clansmen will not approach you, nor will they try to forcefully take Baba Malong." Although the expression of the Wood Spirit Chieftain was displeased, he nodded in agreement. Lin Jing nodded, then asked, "What's your second condition?" The Wood Spirit Chieftain spoke directly. "Our second condition is that you must leave here as soon as possible, not using this as a pretext to linger in this realm. Baba Malong also needs to return to his clan soon." Lin Jing nodded and said, "That's naturally not a problem. There seems to be nothing of interest here, anyway. If possible, I would even appreciate your help in clearing the obstacles along the way to speed up my departure." No sooner had Lin Jing spoken than the Wood Spirit Chieftain replied, "Leave that to us. Since you wish to leave quickly, that's exactly what we would hope for. Rest assured, with your word, we will not let you encounter any hindrance along the way. We just hope that before you leave, you will also gladly remove the power embedded in Baba Malong's body." Lin Jing nodded. "That's no problem. As soon as we are near the teleportation array, I will immediately remove the power left inside Baba Malong's body and let him go." The Wood Spirit Chieftain glanced at Lin Jing, then continued, "One last thing, it's not so much a condition as a question. I'd like to ask how many people you've brought with you this time, and what their capabilities are." I'm asking not because I wish to do anything, but because I don't want to entangle too much with you cultivators from the outside. I just want to safeguard my people." After listening, Lin Jing spoke directly. 5 people, and each of them is stronger than me. Having said this, Lin Jing again asked the wood spirit chieftain, "Do you know if anyone came here before me?" The wood spirit chieftain nodded and said, "Our people control the entire wood realm. Any little movement cannot escape our eyes. Before you, there were already 2 people who arrived in this wood realm, and upon arriving here, after identifying their bearings, they soon left, not lingering here long. And you are the 3rd to arrive in this wood realm." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing quickly understood. Presumably, those who had left were the elder of the Yin family and Bai Yi. As for Li Mingwu and the dragon Taoist, they had been in quite a predicament after startling the golden giant turtle. Even if they escaped the golden giant turtle and seized the chance to reach that deep pit, they would probably be at a loss. They might still be searching for the mastermind who had stolen the metallic attribute of the 5-element spirit, not arriving so quickly. Having clarified all this, Lin Jing then continued, "You should be cautious about the remaining 2 people. They are not simple characters, and both have strong cultivation. If you don't want conflict with them, I advise you to hide as much as possible and avoid contact." Upon hearing this, the wood spirit chieftain frowned and said, "Are you saying they might pose a threat to us?" Lin Jing nodded. "Based on my understanding of them, that is very likely. And they're the kind who will not stop until they achieve their goal. If they learn that Baba Malong carries the wood attribute spirit, they will definitely do everything to take it." After hearing this, the wood spirit chieftain furrowed his brow and said, "If that's the case, we might have to lure them near that demonic tree." "Demonic tree? The one you mentioned? Is it dangerous?" Lin Jing asked the wood spirit chieftain. The wood spirit chieftain nodded. "In the center of the wood realm, there is a demonic tree 1,000 zhang tall, extremely formidable. Although it has some spiritual intelligence, it is utterly unreasonable and has exterminated all living beings within 1,000 li around it, leaving not even a blade of grass. Even our clansmen dare not get too close to that demonic tree. As long as they enter the range of that demonic tree, it wouldn't be easy for those 2 to escape." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing's eyes darted about. Then he suddenly had an idea and directly said to the wood spirit chieftain, "I do have a plan, but I'm not sure what you think of it." The wood spirit chieftain looked puzzled at Lin Jing, then said, "What's the plan? Please tell." Lin Jing then, from his space ring, took out a piece of cloth with a trace of aura on it. This was the corner of Lin Jing's robe marked by the dragon Taoist. After taking out that corner of the robe, Lin Jing said to the wood spirit chieftain, "This belonged to one of those 2 people I mentioned. It has their trace left on it. If they try to search for wood spirits, you can use this piece of cloth to draw them into that dangerous area. Of course, if you could bring the bait along, that would be even better." Hearing Lin Jing speak like this, the wood spirit chieftain suddenly fell silent. After a moment, he looked at Lin Jing again, his eyes slightly wary, and said, "You wouldn't happen to be thinking of using us to help you eliminate your enemies?" Lin Jing laughed and replied, "They are indeed my enemies, but the initiative lies with you. If they don't provoke you and leave immediately after they arrive, then there's no need for you to provoke them. If they're truly searching for the wood element 5 elements power and even come after you, it's not too late to use this method then. Don't you think so?" After hearing this, the wood spirit chieftain did not make a move yet. The other wood spirits beside him began to communicate with each other. This time, they did not argue. Just moments later, they reached a consensus. Then, one of the wood spirits whispered something in the ear of the wood spirit chieftain. After listening, the wood spirit chieftain also nodded. Subsequently, the wood spirit chieftain said to Lin Jing, "You're right. Not everyone is like you. After all, our wood spirit ancestors have long warned us that most outside cultivators are ruthless. We agree to your proposal." Lin Jing smiled, and then directly channeled his spiritual power, sending over the piece of cloth. The wood spirit chieftain did not hesitate, directly condensed wood element's spiritual power to catch the fabric and then brought it in front of himself. After receiving the fabric, the wood spirit chieftain inspected it and, seeing nothing out of the ordinary, he stashed it away. Lin Jing then reminded, "The range of the mark sensation on this goes for 1,000 miles. You must be careful not to expose yourselves." The wood spirit chieftain nodded. "Rest assured, as soon as they come in, our people will be able to detect them immediately." After speaking, the wood spirit chieftain continued, "That's all we ask for. Do you have any other requests?" Lin Jing thought for a moment and then asked, "I know, in each realm, apart from the 5 elements' power, there should be one extremely precious item. I'd like to know, what is the treasure of your wood realm?" Upon hearing this, the wood spirit chieftain's face darkened instantly. "There isn't one. Our wood realm doesn't have the kind of treasure you're talking about." The wood spirit chieftain's reaction made it very hard for Lin Jing to believe his words. Still, he had just managed to reach an agreement with the wood spirits and naturally didn't want to fall out over this issue. Better to stay out of trouble and to leave the wood element realm as soon as possible. Next, Lin Jing talked with the wood spirit chieftain for a while, and then, as both had agreed, Lin Jing took Babylon and left. 2 of the wood spirits who had been with the chieftain followed Lin Jing, watching his every move, fearful that Lin Jing might harm Babylon. As for the wood spirit chieftain, he led the rest of his people forward, informing his tribe to clear a path for Lin Jing. The journey through the wood element realm not only presented no danger, but even had locals clearing the path, which could be said to be quite smooth sailing. Except for not gaining anything, all was well. Lin Jing was transported to a place toward the southern side, while the teleportation array was on the very eastern edge of the wood realm. Lin Jing, escorting Babylon, did not travel very fast. It would take about a month to reach the eastern edge. Still, with the wood spirits clearing the way, there was no danger along the path, so Lin Jing didn't need to hurry. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed, and Lin Jing had been in the wood realm for half a month. Throughout this journey, Lin Jing could not say it was very comfortable, but it was certainly quite pleasant. As for Baba Malong, he basically only moved within 100 meters of Lin Jing. Of course, the 5 elements' power within him needed reinforcement by Lin Jing every 2 or 3 days, although it seemed that an agreement had been reached with the wood spirits. But Lin Jing would not dare to gamble and place his reliance on others. As for the 2 wood spirits who had been following behind, they kept a distance of 1,000 meters from the 2, a distance proposed by Lin Jing. 1,000 meters did not prevent them from keeping watch. The wood spirit tribe did not say anything. They just silently complied. During this time, aside from Lin Jing, the one who was probably enjoying himself the most was Baba Malong. After the initial panic, Baba Malong also discovered that Lin Jing would not harm him. Instead, he became somewhat interested in Lin Jing. Of course, what he was actually most interested in was the outside world. Their wood spirit tribe had lived generation after generation in the wood element realm, isolated from the world and never venturing out. Even the little they knew of the outside world was from records left by their ancestors. Therefore, they were both curious about and somewhat fearful of the outside world, especially someone like Baba Malong, who, although over 100 years old, was only equivalent to a teenager in human years, still at an age where everything sparked his curiosity. Naturally, he was exceedingly curious about the outside world that Lin Jing spoke of. In the time they spent together, he had grown much more familiar with Lin Jing and frequently sought out Lin Jing to ask about the outside world. When Lin Jing was free, he would also explain the outside world to Baba Malong. Of course, Lin Jing not only explained, but sometimes he would also inquire with Baba Malong about certain situations within the wood element realm. At first, Baba Malong was somewhat guarded, but later relaxed his vigilance under Lin Jing's subtle strategies. Lin Jing came to understand why Baba Malong was so important. The wood spirit tribe belongs to the wood elves. Naturally close to plants, they could even control them. But there was also a drawback. Wood spirits could only be born in places with exceedingly dense wood-type spiritual energy. not to mention a tribe of wood spirits developing. The amount of wood-type spiritual energy needed to form a tribe was even more exaggerated. For such a race to continue, apart from wood-type spiritual energy, there needed to be a true wood spirit. Each generation, the wood spirit tribe would have a destiny, whose mission was to merge with a true wood spirit. Allowing a true wood spirit to merge with their tribe's destiny, thus blessing the tribe with its protection and ensuring the survival of the entire race. And Baba Malong was that destiny. In the wood spirit tribe, the previous destiny had died many years ago, and their entire tribe had already diminished a great deal. If Baba Malong were to die as well, it was very possible that before the next true wood spirit appeared, this entire tribe would have disappeared. It was for this reason that the wood spirit tribe's elder dared to stake the entire tribe's survival on Baba Malong. And Baba Malong's attack on Lin Jing was actually an accident. Baba Malong was supposed to stay within the tribe, but out of playfulness, he snuck out. After all, Baba Malong was nothing more than a child of around 10 years old, naturally lively, and that was perfectly normal. Moreover, after merging with the true wood spirit, Baba Malong's actual strength was not weak. It was just that he lacked combat experience, and many of his tactics were almost useless against Lin Jing. But his ability to escape was indeed quite good. Otherwise, Lin Jing would not have been able to catch him only after using the system space. It can only be said that curiosity killed the cat. If he had not been curious about Lin Jing's sudden disappearance, he would not have been caught by Lin Jing. During this time, Baba Malong indeed asked about this matter, wanting to know how Lin Jing managed to disappear suddenly. Lin Jing naturally could not answer. He could only say to him mysteriously, "Secret," leaving him there scratching his head. Just now, Baba Malong again asked Lin Jing about some extraordinary stories of the outside world. After Lin Jing finished telling him, and as he was about to leave, Lin Jing stopped him and then asked, "Doesn't your wood realm have any rare treasures? Last time I brought it up, why did your tribe's elder seem to have a rather troubled complexion? Is he hiding something from me?"